Hi, I'm Michelle and you're watching Fight Sports. We're here live at the Geelong Arena for the fight night everyone's been waiting for, No Stone Unturned, proudly presented by David Stanley. In tonight's main event, Australia's King Soliman will battle it out with New York superstar Giovanni Lorenzo. It's going to be an awesome show with a jam-packed undercard, so sit back and enjoy as we go centre ring for the first fight.
We're right to go, ladies and gentlemen. Would you welcome in the blue corner from New South Wales, Peter Brennan. Okay, would you welcome in the red corner, he's your man from St Leonard's, the junkyard dog, Kane, McKay. Hit me with your best.
Who let the dogs out?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Geelong Arena here on the beautiful Bellarine Peninsula as we watch Kane McKay come to the ring. His comeback fight after a bit of a break, the young man who has fought for a number of titles, the former Victorian light heavyweight champion, 35 years of age. Kane McKay making his comeback tonight, weighing 89.3 kilos, and his opponent in the blue corner is Peter Brennan.
Welcome back to Centre Ring, Friday Night Fights, SBS Promotions, fighting for men's health. 4 rounds of interstate cruiserweight boxing. Ringside position, Dr. Naomi Harris. Timekeepers at the bell, Chris Anderson Jr. and Tom Davis. When the bell tolls, your man in charge of the action, Chris Anderson Sr. Judges at ringside, Anika Williams, Ignatius Miscellatus and Jeff Eddy under the 10-point must system. Would you welcome in the blue corner from Currans Hill, Sydney, New South Wales. 32 fights, 9 wins, 19 losses, 4 draws, 2 wins by knockout. Holder, WBF Intercontinental Cruiserweight Championship. He tipped the scales at 89.50 kilograms, wearing sea blue trunks with white trim. Would you welcome back to Victoria, making his 3rd Victorian appearance, Peter Brennan. And across the ring, from St Leonard's, by Tony Selder's Moolah Gymnasium. He's fought some of the biggest names in Aussie boxing. Blake Camporello, Tiger Tim Bell, Daniel Porky Lovett and Joel Casey twice over the past 8 years. He brings to Centre Ring a record of 19 fights, 8 wins, 2 draws, 4 wins by knockout. at 89.30 kilograms, black trunks with a touch of gold and white. When you welcome the Junkyard Dog, it's Kane McKay. Here's Chris Anderson, Senior.
And the atmosphere is absolutely electric right here in the arena Geelong as we listen to referee Chris Anderson give some instructions to the fighters.
In the dressing room, nice and tidy, protect yourself at all times. Listen to me at all times. Good luck, boys. Wait for the belt.
We've got the Junkyard Dog, Kane McKay, a local Geelong product, in the red corner with the black boxing trunks with a white band and stripe. And Peter Brennan, an all-time real tough guy from New South Wales, in the blue corner with the blue shorts and the blue trunks. Joining me at ringside is the Vice President of the IBF, the International Boxing Federation Worldwide Operations, Mr. Ray Wheatley. Ray, welcome to Geelong.
Good on you, Brad. Thanks for the welcome, mate. It's a very nice place. What a great venue we got here, Brad. Tremendous
venue. We're here on the beautiful Bellarine Peninsula down here in Geelong, and of course we're home of the AFL current reigning and defending premiers, the AFL, the mighty Geelong Cats. And as we're looking at another battle tonight between Peter Brennan, a real rugged, tough, we couldn't call him a journeyman because he's just fought anybody and everybody. He's been in with the rest, and Kane McKay just making his comeback after being out of the ring for quite some time. Yeah, I think it's about 2 years.
It looks like a fairly even matchup, Bradley.
And it's a good matchup. It's a good matchup.
Physically, doesn't look to be much in it, mate. About the same height, these guys.
Well, this is Peter Brennan's. Actually, he's probably got the advantage here, Ray. He's having his 5th fight for 2012. He's had 4 fights this year, and he's had a couple of championship fights, and he's dropped a couple of decisions there. But he's a real trier as he slips under the big right hand from Kane McKay. But again, Peter Brennan, 32 fights, just 9 wins, 2 by knockout, 19 losses. But let me tell you, those losses have been some very, very good company.
When you look at Peter Brennan back in 2010, had that great victory over Yoshinori Nishiwauza.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
12-round fight.
Absolutely.
And as we know, Nishiwauza had Marcus Beyer on the canvas, also Anthony Mundine.
And Mundine, of course, too. And I refereed Nishizawa many times myself. He was, I think he was something like about a 5 or 6-time OPBF super middleweight and light heavyweight champion. And at one stage was just almost unbeatable. And for Peter Brennan to come up with a win against the aging Nishizawa, but he still can fight Yoshinori, and a lovely guy outside the boxing ring too.
Yeah, that was an upset that night. No one really expected Peter to win that fight, but boxed very well, boxed above himself, and won a very good fight, a 12-round fight.
He just collected Kane McKay with a nice little short right hand and went straight over Kane's left hand, and Kane looks like he's just starting to blow a little bit at the moment. He's using a lot of energy, but then again, he hasn't been in the ring for quite some time, so he's been out, but he's also fought some of the very best. Kane McKay, record 19 wins, 19 fights, 18 wins, 4 by KO, and but he just grinds it out. But I don't see this fight going to distance, Ray.
No, it doesn't look that way. Kane McKay, he's fought the cream of the crop, bro.
Oh, he has. He's fought Joel Casey, former Australian and PABA dual champion, a couple of times, former world-rated fighter. He is the former Victorian light heavyweight champion. He won that from Charles Knock over at Thomastown back in April 2008. And he's fought a lot of them. He's fought Les Sherrington, Kane McKay, and he's not game to have a go, but they're slugging away. They're just...
the bum's going.
Good first round, actually. I'd have to, I think, maybe while Kane really took the fight up to Peter, I think Peter's effective work rate was just a little greater with the cleaner punches. But then again, you'd expect that from a guy who's having his 5th fight for the year.
That's right.
Seconds out as we
I'm just trying to think of Mick's last name. Will come to me in a moment, but which was really sad. Mick Murray and young Mick Murray, Kevin Murray used to fight, and of course Kevin, and so I think he trained with him. But Tony's been around a long, long time, so I know that they would have done a lot of sparring, a lot of training down here. We're looking at former Victorian light heavyweight champion Kane, the Junkyard Dog McKay in the red boxing gloves with a black short, just hit Peter Brennan over the top with a nice little right hand.
Very aggressive, Kane McKay.
Yeah, you don't have to go and find him. He's always going to be there in front of you, and he knows his way around a boxing ring, okay?
Throwing some nice punches, Brad.
Absolutely. Good left hook there. Certainly caught the attention of Peter Brennan. Nice little uppercut, just missed the mark. He's going after Brennan here, Ray.
Certainly is. He's landed some nice punches, but at this stage, I haven't seen Brennan in any sort of trouble. But yeah, Kane McKay getting home with some nice punches.
Just to let you know just a little bit about Kane McKay, he has really fought some of the best in the business. He made his professional debut, believe it or not, against former #6 world-rated fighter at a little bit later time, Les Sherrington, Lock and Load Sherrington. He's fought Nader Hamden, Tim Bell, Joel Casey twice, Blake Caparello, the world-rated light heavyweight champion who's going to fight Aaron Pryor Jr. Next month here in Melbourne. He's fought Daniel Baff, Daniel Lovett, Sean Connell, Sonny Michelangelo, and so he's barred no one. He's fought everyone, and he's really taking the fight up to Peter Brennan here.
And against Daniel Baff, I believe that was a majority decision, which was a very close fight.
Yeah, close decision. Daniel Baff, you know, one of the stars of Australian boxing, had been out injured just in recent times with a crook hand, but oh, nice little uppercut from Peter Brennan. Peter just sort of tending to stand in front of Kane McKay a little bit. He doesn't need to do that because Kane's just going to always be in front of him. He's always going to make him work. It's really a fight of attrition. Big right hand right on the ear of Peter Brennan. And then, Ray, when we look at Peter Brennan also, he's fought some of the best. He's fought Diamond Dale Westerman, former world kickboxing champion, Joel Burke, Tim Bell, Brett Smith, Jamie Pittman, he's fought him twice. The current Australian cruiserweight champion, Daniel Amann, Kerry Foley, Jay Bryce, and of course, as we mentioned a little bit before, Yoshinori Nishizawa, absolutely with bigger scalp than he's ever got. And of course, the great Moses Sorobi. So, been around a long time. He made his debut back in November 2002 with a 4-round win over Clint Johnson in Gosford. So, he's hit Kane right on the button there with the left hook. He's ducked the punch. He's gone to the body again. Starting to bridge that gap a little bit is Peter Brennan.
Certainly getting home with some nice punches, but Kane McKay keeping up a solid offence.
Scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds here at the arena here in Geelong, with the main event coming up a little bit later on tonight as we're working through the undercard. And we've got the pride of Melbourne, the King, Sam Soliman, looking to cement his place for a fight for the IBF Championship of the World as we see the end of the round. Another good round. Certainly a Kane McKay round, that one, Ray.
Yeah, he's outworked Peter Brennan in that round. Well, when you look at his professional career, he's had four defeats, and the only defeats have been against guys that have been world champions. But Felix Sturm, gave Felix Sturm a good fight, lost on points. Gave Sebastian Sylvester a very good fight, lost a split decision. Nadja Cam had him through the ropes, lost a decision to Nadja Cam, and in 2008 lost an eliminator to Raul Marquez. It was also a world champion.
And lost by 1 point from which we'll expand on that just a little bit later on, Ray. He hasn't fought since 2011. Had 2 fights in 2011. They weren't big-name fighters, but he won both the fights very early. As we know, Sam Soliman's last 2 wins have been against Garth Wood and Aram Asaliel, but both well-rated fighters. Absolutely.
Sam's had good recent competition.
Absolutely. And I think if anything is going to hurt Lorenzo, that is going to be that he's in activity for that last 10 months or 8 months out of the ring. And we know that Sam Soliman is an absolute machine when it comes to training. He is Mr. Fitness Perfection, isn't he? And he leaves nothing to the imagination when he comes into the boxing ring. If he's in the boxing ring, he has done the work.
There's no one more professional than Sam Soliman. Professional boxing in Australia today.
Yep.
Always in 110% shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got ourselves a real Barney of a fight here with Peter Brennan in the blue trunks with the blue, with the white band and striping and the blue gloves, and of course the local favourite Kane McKay making a comeback after 2 years and 2 months out of the ring, and doing very, very well. This is a really hard fight to score because McKay got the punches. He goes up top. He works the body as well. Kane McKay with the black trunks and the white band and stripe, just missed with a left uppercut. Little right heart, right under the heart.
McKay outworking.
Oh, Brennan. Beautiful little left uppercut, hook to the underneath the chin. He's really got Peter in a little bit of strife here. Peter fighting back. He's not going backwards though, Ray.
No, he's a very game fighter, Peter Brennan, but he's getting outworked at this stage.
Absolutely. I think just his absolute heart and his desire to stay in this fight that's keeping him up, because Kane McKay is hitting him with everything.
The layoff hasn't seemed to have worried Kane McKay.
Not at all. He's come back and look, you know, and I think he's still carrying a little bit around the midriff, but he'll certainly get fitter, and he desperately needs the rounds. And as I said a little earlier, Peter Brennan has been in some good company. This is his 5th fight for the year, and his last fight was back in May when he lost a 4-round decision to a heavyweight by the name of Ben Rotniak up at St Mary's. So
that's right.
You know, this kid's really a light heavyweight. He's fighting at cruiserweight because he finds making the weight easier. He's not a heavyweight anything, but Kane ripping to the body, round into the ribs, lefts and rights to the top of the head. Peter standing right in front of him. I think Peter's idea of the defence is the thing that goes around the back of your house. Kane really asserting his authority here, and the crowd really getting behind the local favourite as we see the bell for the end of the 3rd round. And another good round for the Junkyard Dog, Kane McKay, as he turns it on for his local crowd here at the arena here in Geelong. SBS Promotions and
David Stanley's done a great job.
Fabulous job, and it's their first promotion. David Stanley and Michael and Sam Soliman. Yep, terrific effort. As the boys touch gloves for the 4th and final round of this cruiserweight war. 89.3, the man in the black, the local favourite, weighed in last night, and 89.5 kilos, the guy in the blue. That's Peter Brennan from New South Wales. Both going at it. Kane McKay, I like the way that when he misses, he's always got something coming back to answer his opponent. He doesn't just throw 1 or 2, he's always throwing punches in bunches. The atmosphere of Ray is just tremendous. The crowd are really getting into the fight here as Kane McKay trying to take the ascendancy here in this 4th and final round. Goes over the top with the right hand, cops a little bit of a right uppercut for his trouble there. Peter Brennan sees the punches coming very well, got under that, got hit with a good little left hook there. Starting to get a little bit tired, Ray. The shine's starting to come off him a little bit now.
They've fought in top gear from round 1, and
good short right hand by Kane McKay.
Kane McKay's done a good job there today.
He has. Peter Brennan goes over the top with the right hand. He's finishing off strong too, McKay. To be really honest, I thought Kane might feel the heat a little bit. Goes to the body, left rip to the body, right uppercut, double left hook by Kane McKay. Finishing off very, very well. Peter Brennan on the back move now. Only arrived here in Geelong this afternoon. Pete had work commitments, couldn't get down here. Maybe the flight has taken his toll. The left hook, the right hand, the overhand right. He's finishing all over Peter Brennan now. And the Geelong crowd are letting him know that they're supporting him as well.
Peter Brennan in a bit of trouble there, Bradley.
He is, absolutely. But how brave is Peter Brennan, Ray? You couldn't blame him for throwing into tower. He comes over the top with the right hand that hits Kane.
He's got plenty, but he's keeps coming.
He's thinking to himself, hey, what do I got to do to keep this guy away from me? Incredibly brave, and you can imagine Kane McKay when he actually does get into some fitness and get fit again. Terrific end to this fight. Can't be too long to go now as the boys standing almost in centre ring and slugging away. Left rip to the body by McKay. Little short right hand over the top. I think he's going to come home, Kane McKay, and I think he's certainly earned this one, Ray.
Yeah, he's basically been in top gear from round 1, Brad.
Hasn't he?
And he's maintained the pace.
I thought Peter Brennan was a little sharper in round 1, but certainly Kane McKay's let him know who's the boss from there. He's come over the top. As the boy, they go hard at it. There's left and rights as Kane finishing all over the top of Peter Brennan. That's the end. What a terrific. And the boys embrace. What a terrific fight. That great sportsmanship there. Kane McKay over in the blue corner, wishing him his opponent all the very best, and he can be very, very proud of his effort tonight here at the arena. And
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judges Anita Williams and Jeff Eddy both had 39-37. Final counting matches miscellaneous 39-36. Your winner, unanimous points from the red corner.
And there we have it, as I thought, Ray. 39-37, 39-37, 39-36 to the Junkyard Dog, and the crowd here at the arena have just erupted.
Very good scoring by the judges.
Yeah, and I think the first round just went to, and then, look, what about that for fabulous sportsmanship from Peter Brennan? Raises his hand to defeat, great sportsman, great, terrific, and this is what this sport's all. That's heartwarming to see that as a
great ambassador for Australian boxing.
Absolutely.
When you welcome in the blue corner, fighting out of Concord, New South Wales, by his native country of Armenia, a close friend of triple world champion Hovhannisyan. Would you welcome Azat Hovhannisyan? Welcome in the red corner from Frankston South on Port Phillip Bay in Melbourne, Iron Mike Wood.
I just want to interpret a couple of things. Just if I say stop or break, that means stop punches immediately.
Good stuff, Tommy. Here we go. 4 rounds of boxing in the super featherweight division number 1. Would you welcome in the blue corner, fighting out of Concord, New South Wales, by his native country of Armenia. He turned 24 last week. Tipped the scales last night at the pier. The official weigh-in at 58 kilograms. Head coach Angelo Hyder. Mentor of the Green Machine, Danny Green. This young man has had 3 professional fights, 2 wins, 1 loss. 2 of those fights have been in the United States of America. Wearing red trunks with a touch of black and gold. Would you welcome Azat Hovhannisyan, Armenia. And across the ring with Big Ben Chua and Nick Baboulis in the corner at 57.90 kilograms. Wearing mainly black trunks with white trim. Making his professional debut on the big stage in the arena in amateur boxing. 26 fights, 10 wins. When you welcome Iron Mike Wood.
26 fights, Brad. 10 wins.
Mike Wood as an amateur.
As an amateur, yeah.
Well, when you think about it, Ray, trained by Ben Chua and the guys down there, they're very professional. It looks like he's not intimidated. He feels comfortable in the ring. Iron Michael Wood, nicknamed by Howard Lee. He's got the nicknames for everyone, Howard, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
They'd have to be very confident in order to take, they know you come from Armenia, or you come from Dominican Republic, you can fight. You come from any of those countries over there, like,
No one comes from the big Darshinian.
Absolutely. As the bell rounds, as referee Jeff Eddy brings our boys into action, we're looking at Azat Hovhannisyan. Excuse me if I haven't got that right. Spelled Hovhannisyan. Hovhannisyan, wearing the red trunks with the black band and piping. And Iron Mike Wood from Melbourne, Victoria, in the black with the white band and striping. 26 fights as an amateur, so he certainly knows his way around a boxing ring. Very confident. Looks like a determined young guy, both orthodox fighters.
Certainly does, Bradley. Hovhannisyan looks very well equipped and certainly got great mobility around the ring. Nice footwork.
Yeah, nice little short.
Very accurate with his punches.
This could be a real good little super featherweight fight here, Ray.
It's warming up, Brad.
Absolutely. 58 kilos on the neat last night at the scales at the weigh-in for Hovhannisyan. And Michael Wood, 57.9, which tells me he looks like he's really a featherweight, doesn't he? 57.15 is the featherweight limit. 58.96 is the super featherweight limit, or junior lightweight as we call it.
Correct.
Michael Wood taking the fight to Azat. But Azat looks like he's got
he
the
doesn't
moves
look,
too.
doesn't look like he's intimidated by Hovhannisyan, is that correct, Brad?
Yeah, but no, he certainly doesn't look like he's intimidated. He's standing right in front of him. Hovhannisyan. I'd say it's Hovhannisyan. Hovhannisyan. And forgive me, folks, and to Azat if I've got this wrong. But nice right hand under the heart, and again. And again, he says, if you're not going to cover it, I'm going to hit it.
He's unloaded now, Brad.
He really is. He looks like he's got the runs on the board. We don't know anything about his amateur career, Ray, but look, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Armenia, all of those guys, they just love to fight. They've all had good amateur careers, and he switched hits today. He's gone southpaw now, is it? Quite a talented young guy. Could be early in the fight, switch hitting now, gone to the southpaw stance.
Legs quite comfortable at it too.
Absolutely. And Ray, you notice his legs are very, very wide, a la Big Darchinian. And that's, Eastern Bloc style, isn't it? Legs very wide.
Wide stance.
Yep. Back to southpaw, switch it up. Oh, lovely little short left hook. Hit Mike right on the side of the chin. But Mike's not intimidated. He's standing right in front of him. He's just trying to work him out, trying to work a way in, thinking, how do I handle this guy? We know nothing about him. How can I get away in, find a home? Because it looks like Mike, he looks like he's done the work a little bit. Mike Brown wearing the, as we said, nice little left hook right on the bell. That was a good round for Azat Hovhannisyan.
Yeah, Hovhannisyan looks a class above
No, not at all. And it was a close round, but Hovhannisyan, I think, has just come towards the end of the round. He finished off stronger and really let young Mike Wood know that he's there and that he's here. He's all business. Azat Hovhannisyan, 24-year-old, really fights as a super bantamweight, but tonight 167 centimetres high and 169 metre reach. Hands up nice too, Ray. He's very well schooled, isn't he?
No, I'm very impressed with him, Bradley, the way he moves.
And Ray, it's great for Australian boxing. We don't have a lot of little super bantamweights and featherweights, do we? We're struggling at that weight down. We've got plenty of bigger guys, but we're struggling at the lighter weights.
It's a great addition to Australian boxing.
Absolutely, and it's certainly under the guidance of three-time and unified world champion Vic Darcinian, and with Angelo Hyder in his corner, who will really show him the ropes here in Australia and show him how it's done. But Mike Wood there, pouring away with the left hand, just trying to find a way to get in. I think Mike just needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He's just letting Azat take the initiative off him now, Ray.
Yep, correct.
And that's something that you can't do. You need to make him have a little bit of respect for you and sort of show, because I'd say that Mike has got a good kit of punches. He just can't get off tonight. Or at the moment he can't anyway.
Hovhannisyan's keeping him off balance with a steady stream of left hands and right crosses. Just keeping Woods off balance.
Absolutely. You see, we poke out
Can't
the
really
left
get
hand
set
there.
to launch any sort of attack.
No, and when he's not attacking, look at the upper body movement. See how there's the upper body. Now he's inviting Mike Wood to hit him with the hands down. But he's that up. Oh, the little looping right hand over. Oh, there it is. He's down. And Mike Brown is down as referee Jeff Eddy sends him to the sends Hovhannisyan to the neutral corner. Picks up the count. He's up at 8. He's okay. Mike Brown sends him back now. As referee Eddie brings him back in there, that looping right hand caught it. The first one caught him on the ear, the second one caught him flush on the chin. Looks like you got a little bit of power there too, Ray.
A lot of power, Brad, and very accurate, Brad.
Beautiful body punches there, incredibly accurate. He doesn't waste punches, does he?
Not at all, mate.
And look at that nice little straight left lead. Little looping right hand again. A welcome addition to the Australian boxing ranks if he's going to stay over here in Australia, which I'd say he would. Oh, he gets hit with a nice left lead there. The little uppercut certainly caught Mike's attention there.
Solid punch.
Mike's still standing in front of him, standing in centre ring. He's not intimidated by this guy. He's, good to see, but he needs to take the initiative. Come on, Mike, let's show us some punches. Show that you can fight this kid back. Hovhannisyan, gee, looks like he's well equipped, doesn't he? Oh, beautiful
every
right
punch in the book, Brad.
He has, and he's starting to use every punch in the book now, Ray, as the confidence grows.
He stepped up a gear in this round.
Absolutely. Left rip and right hand, double right hand over the top as he goes to the body. What he's doing is he's mixing it up, and Mike Wood just can't get to work him out because he's going up top and going downstairs.
Very tough round for Mike Wood.
Yeah, hard round for Mike. It's certainly a 10-8 round as Ben Chua brings Mike back to the corner and give him some instructions.
Next round's going to be a very tough round for Mike Woods.
Seconds as we approach round
So it's
three.
not really a good night at the office for Michael Wood.
Michael Woods is earning his money here tonight.
He certainly is, but look, take nothing away from him. He hasn't thrown in a towel, and he'll be. I believe this fight will go the distance unless Azat Hovhannisyan actually turns up the wick a little bit more. Can he turn the wick up a little bit more? Has he shown us all that he has got at this particular time? They tend to keep the cards pretty close to the chest, and with an astute trainer like Angelo Hyder in the corner, I don't believe that they're going to come out and show everything in the first 1 or 2 rounds, are they?
Yeah, I would think he's probably got a few gears he can go through.
Oh, look at that body rip again, and he's really mixed it up, and he's confused Mike a little bit
Woods
there.
again.
You know, he's working the right side of Mike's body. He's bringing the rip to the body, making Mike drop the right hand, and then he comes over the top with the looping right hand. Lovely left hook. Oh, that's a lovely left. And Mike's down again.
Ribcage.
Absolute perler of a punch.
He's not going to beat that, Brad.
I don't think so. That's really taken high. How brave is this young guy? He's up at the count of 7. As referee Jeff Eddy wipes the gloves and brings him back into it. Is this the end? Is that? I think he wants to try and put the finishing touches to Mike now. Oh, right hand has stunned him. The right, he's going over the top. He wants to end this fight right here. Is that?
He's in trouble.
How talented is this young guy, and what an awful night at the office for young Mike Brown. I'm sorry, Michael Wood. Oh, there it is, the body, and I think Jeff's going to call it away now.
Wise decision.
Good decision.
Yeah, good decision.
And look, you know, he's not disgraced. He's not disgraced, Michael Wood.
Dr. Peter Lewis is there.
Yeah, Peter Lewis inside the ring attending to him there, and what a good effort.
Brad, once again, lovely working with you, mate, and have a good night here.
Always a pleasure, Ray. It's great to have you on board, and congratulations on your induction into the Australian Boxing Hall of Fame. It's well deserved, and you've been an absolute ornament to the sport of professional boxing, not only as a fighter and as a ring official yourself, but what you've actually done for Australian boxing for many of our fighters, from Anthony Mundine right through to Billy Gibb and also a number of the others, and of course Sam Soliman tonight. Ray, always a pleasure to have you here at ringside with us, mate.
Thank you very much, Brad. I'll catch you later in the night. Thank you, Brad.
Sugar Ray Wheatley, Vice President of IBF Operations Worldwide, has joined us here at ringside, right here at the arena in Geelong. I've got some high hopes as we look at Angelo Hyder giving some instructions and some encouragement to Michael Wood. Let's have a listen to Howard Lee.
1 minute 32 seconds into round 3. Your winner by knockout, making an impressive debut in Australia. Would you welcome and congratulate Azat Hovhannisyan.
And there it is. His first fight. His record now improves to 4 fights, 3 wins, 3 by knockout and 1 loss. Azat Hovhannisyan.
Welcome back to Centre Ring Professional Boxing, SBS Promotion, fighting for men's health. 8 rounds in the welterweight division, both unbeaten boxers. Would you welcome in the blue corner, from Bentley East, Melbourne's East, Andrew Wallace. And when you welcome in the red corner, from Bentley East, how about that? The same area, same suburb, ferocious Terry Tzouramanis. They're Bentley boys in Terry.
You're welcome to ringside here, one of the finest boxing judges in the world today, and I speak of none other than Las Vegas-based Robert Hoyle. Rob, welcome to Australia again.
Hey, thank you very much. What a pleasure to be here in this exciting arena and this exciting night.
And Rob, look, you know, I know you work a lot of fights. You've done Mayweather just recently, you've done Pacquiao just recently, you've done them all in Vegas, you get to see it all. You know, you've been down to Australia 3 or 4 times now as we're watching ferocious Terry Tzouramanis enter the ring now into the red corner. But, you know, how do you think the comparison when you see the local domestic product here in Australia compared to the local domestic product in the United States?
You know, Brad, I got to tell you, there's nothing like seeing hungry fighters. These guys are hungry. They're coming to make their mark. And I tell you what, these guys fit in any venue in New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles. You could put these guys in any arena, they would do well.
Yep. Welcome back to our semi-main event of the evening, SBS Promotions. This is the biggest crowd. I said to David Stanley before, boxing's never had a crowd so large and a sellout at the arena in Geelong. Congratulations to Geelong and also the Mayor for his great generosity, John Mitchell. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of international boxing in the welterweight division. Both fighters have a lot in common. Both are unbeaten in their professional campaign. Both live in the same suburb, East Bentley, Bentley East, Victoria. As Michael Vukovic said, they came from Bentley, from the same suburb to fight in Geelong. Would you welcome in the blue corner, from East Bentley, originally from Wolverhampton, UK, via Belfast, Northern Ireland. He's boxed in the United States of America at 63.70 kilograms, wearing black trunks with gold stars and white trim. 8 fights, 7 wins, 1 draw, 4 by knockout. Would you welcome Andrew Wallace? And across the ring from Bentley East, 10 professional fights, 7 wins, 3 draws, 2 wins by knockout. Ranked by Sugar Ray Whitley, number 4 contender in World Boxing magazine. 63.40 kilograms. Big Ben Chua from Carrum, his coach. Also unbeaten. Black trunks like Mike Tyson. With you welcome ferocious Terry Tzouramanis. Judges on the 10-point mass system. Jeff Eddy, Chris Anderson Sr. and Anika Williams. Here's Ignatius Miscellatus with referee's instruction.
A referee tonight, IBF accredited, and one of Victoria's finest is Ignatius Miscellatus. Hard to say, but easy to watch. Terrific referee and a really nice guy outside the boxing ring.
All right, guys, let's move rules from the change room. As you obey my commands at all times, and protect us first gloves now.
Very short and sweet.
And this is my first look in the flesh of Terry Tzouramanis in the red corner and Andrew Wallace in the blue corner. Both guys wearing black trunks. Tzouramanis in the red gloves with the silver band and piping, while Andrew Wallace with the black band of black trunks with the white band and piping with the black gloves. Everlast gloves, and terrific gloves they are too.
I like the fact that Mike Tyson's legacy is still living on amongst some of these fighters, and they're embracing his toughness, and I think they're going to bring some of that action into the ring.
Absolutely, and in Las Vegas, Robert, you live just around the corner from Iron Mike, don't you?
I live very close to him. It is not uncommon to see him at the grocery store.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, today Mike is very, very relaxed, very at peace with himself, and really is starting to find that he's enjoying life again.
Yes, he has found a rejuvenation of his life, I believe, with his Broadway show, his one-man show that he's performing. Is absolutely amazing. It's receiving a lot of credit.
Yeah, and they tell me it's absolutely riveting stuff, they tell me. And that sold out crowds at Broadway for Iron Mike Tyson. Once the most feared man on the planet, once the most misunderstood man on the planet, but now one of the most respected and liked.
He gives folks a real chance to see the inside, the inner workings of Mike Tyson, how he got to where he is today. And it's fascinating, especially for young fighters that are have some, you know, aspire to get to that level. You know, he shows them what his blueprints were and how he got there, the rough road that it took to get there. But he's coming back, and I think he's got a good legacy he's going to leave behind.
And it really was a marvellous ride, wasn't it? It was an amazing ride up, and it was an amazing ride back. You know, the highs were incredibly high, and the lows were awfully low. You know, so I guess there's some lessons to be learned from that. But let's have a look at this fight here as we see ferocious Terry Tzouramanis, a Melbourne-based junior welterweight with a professional record of 10 fights, 7 wins, 2 by way of knockout, and an amazing 3 draws. As he ducks and weaves, as Andrew Wallace starts to unload a little bit in the neutral corner on Tzouramanis. He's not having to go and find him, and as referee Ignatius Miscellatus warns him for pushing the head down. My first look at both these fighters, Andrew Wallace, I haven't seen him in the flesh prior to tonight. And the same as Terry Tzouramanis. Of course, we've seen the records, and if you want to check the records of any fighter in Australia, and indeed any fighter or ring official or fight around the world, just go to www.boxrec.com, and they'll have everything there for you. As this is starting to just get a little untidy here, Rob. Both guys are trying to assert their ascendancy and not get hit.
Yes, they are, but I tell you one thing I do admire, these guys are working the body. They do not abandon the body work, and they are working from the ground up to break down their opponent.
Absolutely, as Tzouramanis hits Wallace with a nice looping right hand, and he goes again.
Round 1.
I think that was a very, very close round as we see a little bit of a swelling come up over the right eye of Kerry Tzouramanis. Looks like a little egg just on top there in the red corner, but I'm quite sure that Big Ben Chua from Kickboxing over the other side of town in the eastern suburbs will have a look at that for him.
Straight right hand, stuck in the line, he's open a 4 with the uppercut. Right? If you throw a 4, always go 3. In case you miss the 4, you've got the 3 coming. Left hook. Uppercut, left hook, straight right. He's open a straight right to get on the centre. Right? There's no parking the attack on the road. When you get there, he comes in, turn him off. Right?
4 rounds, I believe, to
absolutely, yeah,
to make his mark.
Well, this is actually a scheduled 8-round fight.
Oh, 8 rounds. Okay.
Yeah, so which is a long distance for these young guys. And, Andrew Wallace having his 9th fight tonight, while Kerry Tzouramanis is having his 11th fight. So very close in the records. Tzouramanis has had 2 fights for 2012. Andrew Wallace, born in Wolverhampton in West Midlands in the United Kingdom, and has been residing in Belfast in Ireland. So he's certainly been around a little bit, Andrew Wallace.
He's hanging out with some tough guys out there in Ireland.
Yeah,
you know, they like to mix it up.
Absolutely, they are some of the toughest. Some of the English guys they are the toughest in the world, as you've probably seen those that come over there. But it's an amazing career for young Andrew Wallace. He debuted back in May 2005 in a 4-round fight, and which he won. We never, and he had 4 fights. We never saw him again until April in 2012. So some 7 years later, he pops up here in Australia, and he's now had 3 fights. They have a common opponent in Jobert De La Rez, where Andrew Wallace defeated De La Rez in 4 rounds, and so did Kerry Tzouramanis. He also defeated. Gee, they've got some punches, these guys, in there, as Wallace stands right in centre ring and invites Tzouramanis to hit him. Oh, and he does too.
Yeah, it's dangerous. He's got his hands down.
Crazy. If you're not going to have your hand up, it's got a big sign on that chin that says, "Hit me."
Exactly, and his opponent is doing just that. You know, Brad, as you know, you have tons of experience all around the world. You're seeing some action going on tonight. How does this pair up for you?
Well, you know, when you consider that these guys have had 10 and 8 fights respectively, you know, I mean, they're very well equipped. I'm not sure about their amateur careers, but no doubt they've had some sort of amateur career, and they're really turning it on here for the local crowd down here in Geelong as Tzouramanis again backs up Wallace onto the ropes, going left and right, starts to lay on him a little bit now. Just starting to try and get on top with his punches. He's actually headhunting just that little bit, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's got to remember, you got to go back downstairs and start breaking your guy down. He's giving some good rib shots there and a couple of looping right hands. We'll see if he can settle down on those punches and make them effective.
If he starts to sit down on his punches just that little bit, right, and you know, he's trying to dig in, he's trying to hit, he just needs to settle down on his punches a little bit. Just let the punches flow like Wallace is there. Exactly. Wallace is just letting them go, and he's working up, stop. He's gone down high, low, he's gone upstairs, he's gone down to the body as well. Cops a little right uppercut. Nice little good kit of punches by both fighters. Nothing really effective here yet.
Not yet, but I tell you what, this kid out of the red corner is he's putting a lot of pressure on him.
Absolutely. Andrew Wallace doesn't have to go and find him. He's standing
he's standing right there, and he's ground and pound. What you're looking at right now is a ground and pound work, and he's giving Andy Wallace something to hold on to.
Absolutely. Terrific event here put on by David Stanley and Michael and Sam Soliman. Their very first event down here in Geelong. We have the Mayor of Geelong here. We have a number of councillors. We have, as the bell goes for the end of the second round, and we have a number of notable people here. We're joined by some of the former AFL footballers, some of the current AFL footballers down in the Geelong Cricket.
Yeah, well, you know, you're exactly right. You know, you talk about the Mayweather-Pacquiao fights where you have 15,000, 18,000 folks coming out to support their guy. But I tell you, this can't compete. You know, what you're looking at tonight, what do we have, about maybe 7,000 to 9,000 folks here tonight? Wonderful table service.
Absolutely.
What a class act David Stanley and his folks put on tonight.
They have. Look, they've done it really, really. I'll tell you what, a number of the promoters around Australia could take a leaf out of the book of David Stanley and his crew, because they have done a remarkable job.
You know, this is wonderful when you get a chance to see folks sitting back, enjoying a glass of wine, a glass of beer, eating some wonderful shrimp and the wonderful breads and things that they have here. and watching a very competitive fight that we have here in the ring.
And the shrimp, have you tried the shrimp tonight?
Oh, it's lovely.
There's none better than Victorian shrimp.
This is good water down here.
Absolutely, it's good stuff. And look, honestly, all accolades should go to David Stanley, Michael Bates and Sam Soliman for putting on this tremendous event. And it really is an event. It's not just a fight night, it's actually an event. We have a number of beautiful females here tonight who are really enjoying the action and really getting into it, all really dressed up and really come to the fights to have a night out.
You know, I have to say it, and you know, David Stanley has created a Las Vegas-esque environment where, you know, the folks, all the ladies are dressed up, the gentlemen are dressed up very nicely, and you know, this is the way fights used to be back in Vegas.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and this is the way the fights should be.
Yes,
you know, it's,
you know,
because
it's a night out.
Yeah, and you know, we have a really strong women's program now worldwide. You know, have some fantastic women fighters, and you know, they're all here, you know, watching the fights, and you know, and it inspires women to get fit. It inspires them to sort of say it's not a male-dominated sport anymore.
Not anymore. These women are coming out tougher, stronger, more motivated. You saw them in the Olympics. You know, some of the most memorable fights that came out of this Olympics were the women.
Absolutely. And we've got a real arm wrestling in this fight as we're into the third round here now with Terry Tzouramanis really trying to unload on Andrew Wallace. But let me tell you, Andrew Wallace is a little bit of a surprise packer. We don't know too much about him, but by golly, he has been around. You can just tell by his mannerisms, his presence in the ring itself. And he's really, he's not intimidated, and he's been under the pump a little bit by Tzouramanis, who's really smothering him in punches as he fights off the ropes, but he's still there trying.
He's still there trying, and but I tell you, Terry is landing some good punches. I mean, he's you know, Andy's trying to lay on him a little bit. Now he's putting a little pressure in the corner. We'll see if he can be effective here.
Oh, some big right hands there, Rob, right over our commentary position in the neutral corner as referee Ignatius Misilides breaks them up. Wallace starting to get a little bit of confidence now, but he just succumbs to that left rip, left hook to the body, which is a great punch for Tzouramanis. Right hand by Wallace, clubbing left hook over the top, left and right again by Tzouramanis, and a good third round. Gee, I'm glad I'm not a judge on this fight.
Well, hey, this is where the pros are made, right here.
Absolutely, and you know, when these guys are the future of our sport, you know.
Yes.
You know, we've got some real stars in Australia: Danny Green, Anthony Mundine, Daniel Gill. You know,
you know, when you get two guys like this in the ring, you know, it's terrible that one of them has to lose, but they're going to keep working hard and, you know, keep making their career progress.
And how do you see the fight so far, Rob? We've been talking about anything and everything but the fight, but, you know, you're such an interesting guy to talk to, and you've travelled halfway around the world. You and I have worked together in New Zealand and in Tasmania for the Daniel Gill fight 3 or 4 times now in the last 6 months. And
what a privilege it has been.
It's an absolute honour to have you down here as well. Such a well-established judge. Prior to being a judge, you were an inspector and a commissioner for the Nevada Athletic Commission.
Yes, I was. Hey, I'll tell you what a wonderful experience that was, and not to get too deep into it and get away from this fight, but I worked in that. I worked as an inspector for 7 years, and it was probably the highlight of my career, working in the corners with some of George Foreman, Evander Holyfield, of course, Mike Tyson.
Absolutely.
You know, just being in the corners with some of the best fighters in the world, seeing Sugar Ray Leonard at the tail end of his career. You know, it's just amazing, and what a blessing it has been.
Absolutely. As we get back to the action here, as Terry Tzouramanis unloads with a beautiful rapid fire, left, right, left onto the chin of Andrew Wallace, but Wallace is equal to the task, a double right hand over the top, and Andrew Wallace claims him, just stand close, trying to. This is a real arm wrestle. Tell me, Robert, take me back to September 1996 when Mike was really frustrated when he fought Evander and he bit Evander's ear. You were the inspector, you were the, and for those of you folks at home, you'll recall, if you see that fight, you'll see one of the inspectors in the burgundy jackets go over and grab Mike and pull him away. And that's the guy that's sitting right next door to me. That's Robert Hoyle, who's there. It would have been an amazing experience. The high was high, but the low was pretty low as well.
Very true. But I tell you, for those folks who have never seen Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield fight, you really missed out on an amazing opportunity. Those guys brought the level of boxing that it's out of the stratosphere.
It came to another level, didn't it?
Oh, totally another level. And you know, I guess for Mike that night, you know, the frustration built. And unfortunately, some unfortunate things occurred. But I tell you, is my position with the Nevada Athletic Commission, and a proud position as it was a point where you had to step in and make sure that you kept it calm and the peace, because not only are you trying to control what's happening in the ring, but you got to make sure that that peace is carried over to the crowd. You don't want that chaos to be carried over to 20,000 folks where people are getting hurt, and it just gets out of control.
And of course it gives boxing a bad name.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
As we see Tzouramanis over the top with a left hook, and Andrew Wallace really on the back move, fighting on the back move, but still standing in front of Tzouramanis.
Toe to toe.
It really is. This is a close, hard fight. Wallace just seems to be getting the better of the exchanges with cleaner punches. His effective aggression is where we score actually seems to be just a little better than Terry Tzouramanis, who looks like he's sucking it in just a little bit. Ferocious as we go. We see the 10-second tapper for the end of the 4th round.
I think Terry just taking a little breather here as he heads back to the corner.
Absolutely.
You know, he'll regain his feet, regain his legs, and see how he comes out for the 5th round.
Yeah, absolutely. A really good close round, and I think that on the look of that, perhaps maybe Andrew Wallace, Robert, tonight, you know, you said you don't know a lot about, you know, either fighter, but then again, realistically, you don't need to know a lot about either fighter, because really at the end of the day, you know, it's simple, a red corner, blue corner, and you're going to come and judge the fight as a red corner, blue corner, and there's no Sam Soliman, there's no Giovanni, Lorenzo. And
there's no champion in tonight's fight. Each fighter has to win. There's 12 fights they're going to go through tonight, and as we go through the scorecards, there's going to be 12 fights scored independently.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what the folks outside need to realize. Yeah. Round 1, round 2, those are individual fights all by themselves.
And that's great, and that's the logic with which, as professional judges, we work with, you know.
Yes, indeed.
And you can't do it any other way, can you?
No, you can't. You can't, and it's not fair to the fighters, nor is it fair to the fans. We're here to make sure that they get a good, clean, fair fight. And we're going to, if they earn the win, they will get the win.
Absolutely. And we've discussed this many times over breakfast, where as officials and responsible officials, and you know, in this sport you really only get, you know, you're as good as your last fight, aren't you?
Yes,
you know?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
And you know, we've discussed it many times that you know, as officials, we need to see that both fighters have a fair and equal opportunity to win the contest. You know, there's a lot of emotion in there. It's simple. There's two emotions. As a referee, we're dealing with the red corner and the blue corner. They've both got their teams. They've got their mates, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their uncles, their cousins. You know, all there to help them, encourage them, and they don't want to look bad in front of anybody.
Not at all. That referee has a tough job. He's not only have to officiate these two fighters, but he's got to maintain a level of control in the ring that, again, that transcends outside this ring. The folks around the ring, the fans that are watching, they have to make sure he is ensuring that the folks are getting a fair fight and is fairly officiated, and this guy's doing a great job.
Absolutely. He's a great referee, Ignatius. He's an IBF accredited referee. Probably one of our leading referees. We've got Malcolm Bourner down here in Melbourne as well. Very experienced WBC referee. In fact, he actually refereed my last professional fight way back in 1972. So, and great referee. But Ignatius is a really good referee. He's very fair. He's very equal. There's no favouritism. There's no bias. It's a simple red corner, blue corner with him as well.
Well, I got to say, he's got a certain brand of Cali that's going on about him, which, you know, I tell you, nothing like learning from the best. You do an amazing job in the ring, and I tell you, this guy's foot movement, his being able to stay at the right angles, he's been studying the best, I see.
Thanks, Rob. It's lovely for you to say that. But look, at the end of the day, it's a very personal thing what you do. You're positioning inside the boxing ring. You're positioning to the fighters so that you can be close enough to save a fighter, close enough to keep on top of them and let them know that you're there and you won't accept any fouls. But yet you're still far enough away to let them fight their natural fight.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he's doing. You know, Andy's throwing some big shots, but hey, Terry just caught him with a great shot.
Gee, these
he's
guys,
holding on.
Hey, they're not going to miss each other, are they?
No.
This is fabulous stuff as referee Ignatius Missilides breaks him again. I see that now Terry Tzouramanis has got his hands held nice and high now, Rob. I think he's learnt the lesson. Maybe he heard you.
I think he did. You know, these guys, a lot of times, they hear the announcers, what they're saying outside the ring, and I think somebody told him, keep your hands up. And great body shot. Great left hook to the body.
He threw the left hook to the head that just swiped the top of Andrew Wallace, and then he went straight back down under the rib cage. But Andrew Wallace over the looping right hand is a big winner for him.
Yeah, and he's going to the supermarket with some of these big shots here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But Tzouramanis is just all over Andrew Wallace at the moment. And as the end of the 5th round, That was a terrific round. Again, another hard round to score, and by golly, I don't know how. I might even go and ask Michelle Lansdowne who she's got in front, because I tell you why, I don't know.
You know, it wasn't an easy night, and for him to step up his game now, and he's going to go and try to unify the title, what a privilege for him to be in that position.
He really does have a hard fight in 1 week's time on the 1st of September in Germany against the WBA Super champion of the middleweight division, Felix Sturm, who has defended his title 15 times without loss before being made the super champion. As Andrew Wallace really starts to unload on Terry Tzouramanis. 2 over-the-top right hands and a hard left hook really caught the attention of Tzouramanis.
You know, I think what Andy's trying to do, I think he's got somewhere to go, because he's really stepping up his fight. He's
really
throwing some big shots.
He has.
He's got to put his shots together, but really he's throwing some big shots. He's trying to finish this.
He is, and I can see a cut that's developed over the left eye of Andrew Wallace, just over the top of the eyelid, I think it is. I can see some blood on the cheek there. I'm not sure whether that cut was caused by an accidental head clash or indeed a punch. Yeah, this could bring a premature end to the fight. Let's hope that that's not the case, as referee Ignatius Missilidis warns.
And I noticed he took a look at the eye just to see how it was working. These guys aren't close, and the heads are going to clash. Their fighting styles, they've been fighting toe-to-toe, so it's almost impossible for these heads not to clash. We look
like we're in about a 22-foot ring tonight, Rob, and I guess we really didn't need this ring. They could have probably saved themselves a couple of thousand. They just bought a phone box in, because this would have done the same job for these young guys.
I saw a closet down the hallway. These two could have fought, and they'd have been excited.
Is that your closet at home with all your clothes and your suits that you wear?
It's all your hand-me-downs, Brad.
This is a real enthralling fight, as we see ferocious Terry Tzouramanis and Andy Wallace, a newbie to Australia. We don't know much about him, but by golly, has he left an impression on the crowd here at the arena here in Geelong. And it may be cold outside, Robert Hoyle, but let me tell you, it's really warming up inside the arena right here.
The action is heating up. These guys are toe-to-toe. 3, 4, 5 punch combos coming from each fighter.
And you know, look, the fight has been fought at a very good pace, and these guys are still standing there as Tzouramanis just starts to unload a little bit on Wallace. Again, his head's hunting. I'd like to see him start to use the high-low principle, where he goes low and then gets the hands down and then come back up top, as Ignatius Missilidis has a good look at the left eye of Andrew Wallace. Has it opened up a little bit more with those barrage of punches that's come from Terry Tzouramanis. What an absolute arm wrestle this is. An amazing contest. Testament to the fitness and the work ethic of these two guys outside the boxing ring.
You know, Brad, I like what you said about the high-low concept. That was one of the things I was trained with. I called it the 22. You know, whenever you shot a 22 caliber bullet, you always 2 to the body, 1 to the head, and that's the attack. That's the attack plan that you stick with.
I have to tell you, Rob, that over here we can't hold 22s no more. We had to hand them into the local constabulary, and they paid us to hand them in too. So guns are not allowed here in Victoria anymore.
And
what a 6th round of boxing that was. Again, I'm going to go with the local guy, Terry Tzouramanis, and that's no reflection on the lack of ability by Andrew Wallace, because he has really put his heart and soul into this. Is going to lose the fight by TKO, which is a recognised rule worldwide, as the referee asked both fighters to come out for round number 7. It's all on the line here. I have Terry Tzouramanis slightly ahead, but Andrew Wallace and Michael Vukovic in the corner over there, I know they've done a terrific job. There's no blood now coming from that eye. And of course, here in Australia, Robert, they can only use adrenaline 1/1000th on the eye. Is that the same as the Nevada Athletic Commission?
Exactly the same. And you know, with the smart cornerman, and obviously Andrew Wallace has the smart cornerman. They took care of that. I noticed Ignatius, he took a look at it. I don't know if Terry has reopened the cut, but
it's starting to bleed now. I think just the wear and tear and the hustle and bustle of this.
That's what's going to happen.
You know, in the odd club, it doesn't have to be a clean scoring blow to open them up these days. They're using Everlast gloves, which are really a puncher's glove, as you well know. You know.
Yes, indeed.
But Our doctor at ringside is Dr. Peter Lewis. He's one of the best in the business, and he doesn't get fazed by blood as a lot of referees do. Ignatius doesn't. That's why he's let these guys go. Some referees, as you probably have seen yourself, Rob, the sight of blood. Oh, gee, we've got to stop this fight. Oh, there's blood, there's blood. But, you know, experienced referees know what they're about. They know what these kids have gone through to get there, and the effort that they've gone. And we don't want to deprive them of the ability in order to win the fight just simply because they've got a cut.
No, and I noticed that Ignatius, he's really watching. He's keeping an eye on it. But he's still allowing these guys to fight. He's giving the fans a chance to see a good competitive fight. He knows when a cut is going to start interfering with the fighter's inability to continue.
And the other thing is, too, Andrew Wallace is still very competitive.
Look at him. He's still in there toe-to-toe. He is not pawing at that eye at all.
Not at all. And if it was a one-sided fair and he's got a cut and he's struggling to stay in the fight, well, then a referee's going to show a little bit, a little bit of compassion and sort of say, hey, look, you know, I'd rather you live to fight another day. And, you know, we've got a cut right over the eye and you know, we've got to protect you to fight on. But, you know, Ignatius has seen the better side of that because he knows this kid's still competitive. He's still having a go. He's still delivering good punches. And this is a good, close, hard fight. Tremendous matchmaking. And let me tell you, folks, the matchmaker for tonight, guess who? The main event fighter, the guy who's looking to fight for the World Middleweight Championship is Sam Soliman. And Sam, if you're listening to this, congratulations on your effort as a matchmaker because you have put some of the matchmakers, professional matchmakers that I know, to shame. We've had a tremendous card tonight, just with one stoppage, which the guy was an incredibly good fighter and a guy making his professional debut, but the rest of them have been uncanny and terrific fights that we can only sit there in amazement.
Well, you know, Brad, that's a surprise to me. I didn't know he did the matchmaking, but I tell you what, he put together a spectacular card. These guys are so evenly matched. There's no one-sided fights here tonight. No one is padding their record tonight. No, not at all. And, you know, Sam Soliman himself, just a great sportsman. You know, he fights it hard, he fights it fair, and he's in the sport for the right reasons. You know, he wants to achieve what he can. And there we go, the end of round 7. Oh, there was another close, hard round. By golly. You know, I got to tell you, as an official, you always say to yourself, which fights do you want to get? This is a tough fight.
Absolutely.
You know, the action again, toe-to-toe. These guys are putting on a very spectacular fight for the fans. There's no holding or dancing tonight.
Absolutely not. And, you know, this is what the fans come to see. They want to come and see good competitive fights. And it doesn't matter. We don't need to be a De La Hoya. We don't need to be a Mayweather or a Pacquiao. You know, most fans aren't going to know Terry Tzouramanis or Andrew Wallace. But look, we've got 2,000 odd people just sitting here screaming and yelling for guys that they don't really know. Oh, and you've conned up, you've got the chocolates coming in here, Robert Hoyle.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they are
dessert has
arrived
here
tonight. But look, you know, when we see that, and this is what the sport's all about. You know, we've got two guys who are really keen, really putting everything into the fight, and they're showing their wares. As we come up to, as referee asks both boys to touch gloves for the 8th and final round.
Okay, this is where the magic's going to happen. This might be what, you know, is the winning round for the winning fighter.
Absolutely, it's that close. There's only a round or two as Wallace unloads to the body and the head. Oh, looping right hand certainly caught the attention of Tzouramanis, and his hands are up now, Terry.
Yes. Oh, yes. I tell you, Wallace he's banging it out. He is going for broke.
Well, I think he knows he's probably slightly behind on the scorecards, and this is a really hard, close fight. And our judges tonight, one of the finest in the business here in Victoria, Anika Williams, Chris Anderson, and who's our other judge? I just can't see him over there.
He's kind of blocked by the ropes there, but he is concentrating very hard.
Scott Brower, who was himself a former Australian champion and a member of the board and a terrific judge. Oh, as Wallace unloads on Tzouramanis right on top of our commentary position. Big right hands by Wallace. He's got Tzouramanis, and Tzouramanis claims him, ties him up and says, let's have a little bit of a break while I get my thoughts back, as Wallace says, come on, let's go.
Exactly. Terry walked him down there shortly, but I tell you, Wallace came right back on him. He's back on him with some big shots.
Oh, the shots are flying here. There's just, and everything is flush. Everything is clean with the knuckle part of the glove to the scoring part of the body. And you can understand as they start to clinch.
They're throwing with bad intentions. These are bad intention punches tonight.
Great right hand by there for Tzouramanis. Tzouramanis just hasn't been able to really tag Andy Wallace, and he hasn't really hurt him. But he's, you know, you don't have to hurt your opponent to win the round.
No.
It's just really just a clean scoring blow with the knuckle part of the glove to the scoring part of the body. as the blue corner is starting to get a little bit urgent over there. They're urging Andrew Wallace to come on and fight as Tzouramanis fights on the back on the ropes. Going to the body, Wallace, he's falling all over Tzouramanis. Yes, certainly winning this round, Andrew Wallace.
He changed the tempo of this round. He's, oh, here's some good punches coming back from Terry. What's he doing?
There's the tide change. Has he punched himself out? Oh, look at this. This is absolute fight. This has got to be one of the undercard fights of the year here in Australia.
Some changing of the guards happening here.
And I hope you're watching this and you're going to see this on Fight Sports on Aurora 183. Brought to you by Paris Productions and the crew down here in the arena in Geelong as Wallace backs Terry Tzouramanis up to the ropes again. He's not letting, he's all over him like a cheap suit.
Yes, indeed. Tzouramanis, he got off the ropes, which was a good idea, but he's back on the ropes again. He got a few punches missing there, but here trying.
Absolutely. Look, the effective aggression, the overall aggression has got to go with Andrew Wallace in this 8th and final round. 10 seconds, we're inside 10 seconds, and both boys trying to gather west, and they're both showing some urgency here, and the crowd get behind them. Who's going to win this fight as the bell goes for the end of the 8th round? Oh, and look at the eye of Andrew Wallace. Oh my God, we've been in a fight as Tzouramanis goes over and touches him up to the blue corner, and Big Ben Chua wipes his charge down. Have they done enough? Has Andrew Wallace done enough as Dr. Peter Lewis comes over to have a look at the eye? What an amazing fight.
Amazing fight. The results now are in the judges' hands. And
absolutely in the judges' hands. And look, I think in the early rounds I'd have to favour the effective aggression, the overall aggression of Terry Tzouramanis. But in the later rounds, I could see that the fight was changing. I think Andrew Wallace got a little more confident as the night went on. His punches seemed to be delivered a little cleaner and a little harder. You know, by golly, we're in for a fight. Don't be surprised if this is an upset decision here.
How about a big ovation to these two warriors? 8 rounds of boxing. We have a split decision.
A split decision, Rob, as I said.
Judge Scott Brower gave it 77-76 red corner. Judge Ninja Williams had it 77-76 once again, only a 1-point margin. How close can you get? Final card, Chris Anderson Sr., 78-74. Split points winner, blue corner.
Oh, he's won it. Andrew Wallace has caused an upset here tonight. And oh, the crowd here at the arena don't like it.
They don't like it, but you know, hey, this was a very close fight. You know, Amazing. It's all about perspectives, and the 3 judges, their scores were close.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew Wallace from Wolverhampton in the United Kingdom via Belfast in Ireland, who now calls Australia home, has snuck home in a split decision over the local favourite, Terry Tzouramanis. The score's 77-76 for Tzouramanis by Scott Brower, 77-76 by Anika Williams, 78-74 by Chris Anderson, and we have a split decision to the blue corner to Andrew Wallace. And look, both guys can really be happy with their performance. Sad that there has to be a loser like that.
There's got to be, but I tell you, these guys fought toe-to-toe. The scores are indicative of a close fight, and that's what we got tonight.
That was a real war for sure, wasn't it?
Yes, Howard. It was definitely one of the best fights. I mean, Terry's a tough guy. The cut was a bit of a hard problem to heal in the corner. We couldn't get a blood stop, but yeah, it was a good fight. Terry wants a rematch. We'll definitely bring it on.
Okay, bring it on. Andrew Wallace and Terry Tzouramanis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're about ready here for the start of the big fight at the arena here in Geelong on the beautiful Bellarine Peninsula. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Mr. Howard Lee.
New York City, the bad boy Giovanni Lorenzo.
Listen up. God blessed you in Australia, and tonight you have all the advantages. I respect you as a person and as a fighter, but too many times I've been robbed fighting in other countries. This has left a burning desire inside of me to be all that I set out to be. I am not afraid, King. Tonight, I am coming for what's mine.
The boxing ring is equally, if not more important than your management inside the boxing ring.
More important, I agree.
And as they announce the king, Sam Soliman, the pride of Melbourne.
Adrian Ballon for the Australian title. He gave about 20 kilo away. No one had heard of him. We couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable. He fought Peter Kinsella for the Australian cruiserweight title as an unknown. No one knew him. No one heard of him. It was a case of Sam Who, and he went on to win 4 Australian titles, 2 Commonwealth titles, a number of regional titles. And you know what? It's heartbreaking for this guy not to ever win a world championship. He's fought for two WBA world titles, losing to the man Anthony Mundine. And this ring is just packed.
Girls, could you hop out the ring, please, mate? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please outstanding in respect
the OPBF, the IBF Pan Pacific. The amazing amount of belts that the King Sam Soliman has in his repertoire.
To be signed out by earlier. Please, everybody leave the ring except the boxers.
Well, at least they gave the lighter belts to the smaller kids, Brad. They worked that one out good because there's a lot of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and could I have absolute quiet as we pay respect to our respective national anthem of the Dominican Republic, one of the West Indies Islands, and Australia.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth untold. Our home is curved by sea, our land about in nature's gaze, a beauty rich and rare. Let every stage advance Australia fair. He joyful strings and let us see. Advance Australia fair.
And there it is, the greatest song of all. Advance Australia Fair, amongst one of the most patriotic and sports-loving fans in this country. As we go back to our ring announcer in ringside, Mr. Howard Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event, the moment you've all been waiting for. In front of a capacity crowd at the Geelong Arena, here we come to the IBF World Middleweight Championship Eliminator. Your supervisor, IBF Australian President, Mr. Ray Weekly. Your promotional team, thank you for your support. SBS promotional team, Sam King Soliman, Michael Carey and David Stanley. No stone unturned in the name of man's health. We're in the middle city of Geelong. Your officials appointed by the IBF. Your judging panel from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA.
this bloke, Brett.
Here we go! 12 rounds of boxing. Would you want to occupy the blue corner, representing his native country of the Dominican Republic in the West Indies Islands. Ladies and gentlemen, now based in New York City. His team of 5 are in center ring. Hovhannisyan, Richard Ryan, Sid Brombatch, and Team Barat, brothers Ray and Mark. Ranked number 5 contender by the IBF, 35 fights, 31 wins, 4 losses, 23 by knockout. His 4 losses have all been to world champions: Felix Stern, Sebastian Sylvester, Azat and McKay. He was in Australia representing Dominican Republic, Sydney 2000 Olympics, at 72.40 kilograms, mainly with a touch of red, white and silver. Would you welcome the bad boy, Giovanni Lorenzo?
And ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, trained by the master trainer Dave Hedgecock, assisted by boxer John of Oakley, escorted to the ring by the Geelong Premiership players in Matthew Scarlett, Matthew Stokes and Corey Unright, and with his boyhood idol Peter the Macedonian Marvel Dacos here by his side. He is a 16-year professional with a record of 51 fights, 41 wins, 19 by way of KO. A former Australian cruiserweight champion, a former middleweight champion of the British Commonwealth, a former 3-time Australian middleweight champion, and the current World Boxing Federation middleweight champion. He's here tonight to knock on your door, ring on your boxing bell. He thanks you for coming out tonight, presenting the gentleman himself, Sam, King of the Ring, Superman, Soliman. Stone Unturned.
No triple spinning heel mid-air flying back kick that he used to do before the fights. Absolutely. In the early days.
What an amazing entrance to the ring, and the Geelong crowd have really got behind the King.
Oh, this is great for boxing, Brad. What do you think of the height and reach advantage? Brad, you'd want to, Chico would want to try and establish that pretty early, mate. Do you think he's got the courage to?
Well, I think so. Look, he's very confident. He's got a smirk and a smile on his face. At the weigh-in last night, he was very confident. He looks very confident. He looks like he knows he's fighting within himself. And has a 13-centimetre reach and a 9-centimetre height over Sam Soliman. So
if he comes out, Brad, and he tries to have a look and get comfortable with Sam Soliman, he'll soon lose rounds one after the other, mate.
Absolutely. He'll be bamboozled, and as Sam Soliman has on his trunks, black and blue. So, but let me tell you, I think this is a really hard, a really close fight. It's very much a 50-50 fight, Ange.
Both fighters quite dry, Brad. Not much sweat on the
not at all.
On the brows and the backs of the fighters.
Yep. Having said that, it is pretty chilly outside as Chico Mallow trounces into centre ring, immediately puts Sam Soliman on the back foot.
And that crossover style, mate, that Mayweather style.
Yep.
Is that how he fights the whole fight, Brad?
Well, it looks like that, yeah. I think he's very confident, he's very upright, and he's looks like he wants to command centre ring there. Sam's just going to find his range, find his rhythm, pop out that left jab.
He looks quite solid in his punches, Chico, Brad.
He does, Angelo, when you consider that he's, his record 35 fights, just 4 losses, 23 KOs out of 31 wins.
Those left hooks he threw look quite heavy.
Yeah.
Not fast, but weighty.
He can punch, this young guy. Rated number 6 by the IBF. 3 times had a challenge for the world titles honours. Twice for the WBA and once for the IBF. Coming up short both occasions. albeit very, very close. Nice to see his right hand up high, but he's got that crossover left hand, stays right in front of his stomach, just measuring each other.
Finding it a little bit awkward at the moment, Sam, that bit of extra reach, and especially when you're crossed over your left. You're a bit low, it's dangerous, but you get a lot more reach.
You do, yeah. It's going to find Sam just a little bit of time to find his range and settle in as Chico goes over the top with that little short right hand that collected Sam right on the ear.
The angles are what Sam's starting to work now. I think that's what he's got to do, just get him off that straight jab. Just pick them angles up.
What he wants to do, Chico looks like he just wants to go straight at Sam, controlling centre ring, and he wants to go straight at him. There hasn't not a lot of lateral movement where Sam twists and turns. It's like a jack-in-a-box. But that is the style of the king, Sam Soliman. That's why he is just so good. That's why he's had an amazing 52 fights for just 11 losses.
I'd like to see him turn Chico, Brad. Just start moving to his left more. Get away from that left and right hand, just get outside it.
Absolutely. Ange, if you were in the corner of Sam now, and when you know him as well as anybody, what would you be telling him to do as Chico goes with that little right uppercut that just missed the mark?
Just pick that angle up, just don't let him see. He's got a square back leg, Chico. Fighters like that, like Felix Trinidad, they get a lot of power off their left hook and their front leg. And you've got to turn them so that they have to move and they lose their balance throwing. See, he's looking for that left hook there.
Absolutely.
You turn the angles like Bernard Hopkins did to Trinidad, mate. And Sam seems to be picking that angle up there in the second half of the round a bit better.
He does, yep. That was a close round, that one.
Hard to score, mate.
Hard to score. A lot of punches thrown by Sam Soliman. Few punches thrown by Giovanni Lorenzo. I think if you go on work rate, you'd have to give that round to Sam Soliman. How our judges are going to score this round is going to be really, really hard. And it's an absolute pleasure to have here at ringside with me one of the master trainers of Australian boxing, one of the identities of Australian boxing, and I speak of H. That's Angelo Hyder, the trainer of Danny Green, long-time trainer of Big Bob Mirovic, Mark Bruguero. The list just goes on and on, Ange. Living in Perth now, enjoying it over there?
Enjoying it, mate. Just trying to have a look at the fighters, get a feel of what they're saying over in the corner, any urgency. He's telling Chico a bit of side-to-side movement over there.
Yep. Well, he lacked that in that first round, didn't he? And Sam was sort of all over him with the side-to-side move, which we expect anyway. What I'd like to see Sam now is increase his work ethic and just get those punches, to deliver effectively and cleanly, whether they be to the body or whether they be to the head. He's got to just start, because effective aggression is what's going to win this fight. Defence is going to win you the fight, but it's not a scoring.
Here's that angle, Brad. If Sam keeps that angle going, the other bloke will be hesitant to throw. The other bloke started feigning. It's something that's nice for Sammy counter-punching there, Brad, getting a couple back on.
Tremendous counter-puncher, isn't he?
Yep.
And fast hands, as we just saw there. While only one of those punches hit, it's only going to be a little bit of a short time before he actually does find his range. Not going to take any chances. This is a powerful fighter that's in front of him.
Yeah, he's a heavy-handed fighter, Brad. Absolutely. You can see that early, mate. And that angle he's picking up there, Sam, moving this way is real good.
He's moving around.
See that there? He's moving the angle, then he's attacking.
Yes.
And it's the other bloke's not comfortable to punch back.
Oh, that right hand over the top, but again, nice. The receipt was the short left and right to the body as he came in. Looks like he's got fluid hands, Lorenzo.
Looks like he's here to throw him, Brad.
Yep. Oh, he's here. He's come to fight. He's absolutely come to fight. They've been over here for 10 days already, which just shows the sportsmanship of Team Soliman, where they didn't bring him out a couple of days before. They gave him plenty of time to acclimatise, get trained over here. He's come out of an American summer into a cold Victorian winter.
Yeah, welcome to the Geelong wind.
Absolutely.
You see there where Sam went straight back, Brad?
Yeah.
He was quite willing to come straight at it.
Was he? Yeah.
Sam picks that angle up. He'll come forward, but he won't punch.
He's just got to try and twist off that front foot a little more, don't you think? There's the receipt. The little right hand just hit him on the shoulder. Didn't hit him flush on the chin, but
you can see the weight in the punch.
Absolutely. I think Sam can realise that. Sam knows this guy's got real power. So he's, Sam Soliman's fought a lot of guys like that have actually got power.
Oh, mate, he's fought the best.
Absolutely.
Oh, a bit low there, ref. Right between the legs.
Right?
Didn't see it at all.
Yeah, we talk about some of the world-rated fighters that Soliman has fought. You know, he's fought both Kelly boys, Glenn Kelly and Kevin, both the brothers. Howard Eastman for the lost the British Commonwealth title to Howard Eastman, who at one stage was almost unbeatable. You know, Raymond Javal, Anthony Mundine 3 times. You know, Ramon Britez in an eliminator, Cornelius Carr, Sean Sullivan. Won the Commonwealth title back in June 2000 from Neville Brown at Burton-on-Trent in a magnificent fight that he wasn't expected to win. Oh, there's that rip to the body and Sam just clubs him with 2 or 3 punches and steps out.
Oh, nice. There's a counter though, Brad. A lot of weight in that right hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Seems to be just clubbing Sam with that. And Sam, if Sam lets him go first, he's going to find himself on the end of a few of those punches. Sam needs to go first and keep Lorenzo a little bit off balance.
Pick them angles up, Sam.
There's the bell for the end of round number 2. And there were some powerful punches. I think I'm going to have to go with Giovanni Lorenzo for that round there, Angelo.
I'm glad I'm not a judge, because trying to commentate and watch him is a bit difficult for me, mate. But
absolutely. It's hard to do 2 things at once, but look, at the end of the day,
well, a couple of even rounds here, Brad, and no one's really established any authority yet.
And I think it's going to be that style of fight, isn't it? But Lorenzo goes straight at Sam Soliman.
Yeah,
I'd like to
stepped
see
up the pace here a bit, Brad.
You know, those powerful punches being very, very heavy-handed. You can see almost every one of those blows is going to hurt. Sam really needs to start to take the initiative off Lorenzo, get him on the back foot, get him off balanced and keep him at bay. So if Lorenzo starts to tee off, I think you'll find that the tide of this fight will change very, very quickly. We're in the 3rd of 12 rounds, 12 3-minute rounds.
Heavy weight and those clubs to the body. I
punches.
Wouldn't call them punches, but
they're clubs, aren't they?
Yeah, he clubbed him, made a hell of a noise there, Brad. No, a nice speed by Sam. That's it, mate.
That's what he's got to do. Get in, do his work, get out. Don't stand there and admire the work that he has been doing.
That's it. I like to see Sammy keep that chin a bit lower under the when the other fella comes in, puts him under a bit of pressure.
That left hook just missed the mark and hit the glove at the side of the chin, where if his head had been up, it would have hit him flush on the chin. Sam twists him up and nullifies his attack already there. Lorenzo back to centre ring, trying to control the action from centre ring. Sam using all of the ring.
Minute gone, plenty of punches getting thrown. There's a nice left hand by Sam.
Fast hands.
Not a lot landing clean though.
No.
Still no authority put on the fight.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't stamped his authority yet, Sam Soliman. And I don't think that he's got the respect of Giovanni Lorenzo at this stage. But Lorenzo certainly has the respect of Sam Soliman. Sam
Nice
just
and relaxed,
smiles at him and says, that just missed. Got to do better than that.
Oh,
big
beautiful right hand. Soliman come from the legs too. That showed a bit of respect, but he's still coming. It's egged Giovanni on.
Absolutely. He's got plenty of fight in him, this young guy. He's got a lot to fight for as well. He knows he's 3rd elimination fight. He's fought for 4 world titles and 3 eliminations. So one has to ask that he really needs to make a statement in this as Sam Soliman gets under that right hand.
Oh, nice.
And pays it back with a looping right hand over the top.
Sammy's picked up the speed a bit, come in quite fast.
Yep.
And
he's just starting to finish over Giovanni in this round.
There's another fucking. What's the leg?
Look at that
left hook just missed him.
Absolutely, just made him miss and made him pay, twisted and turned him. And Giovanni's turned around and said, "Hey, where are you?"
Nice. Sammy's speed is his best asset at the moment. I'd like to see him feint a bit more.
Absolutely,
put a bit more doubt into Giovanni.
Yep. He's got to put that doubt in his mind, and every time he does something, he's going to get. Oh, there's a big right hand by Lorenzo.
Keep going, boys.
It's the end of the 3rd round, and what a good round for Sam Soliman.
I'd probably have given the first even, mate, and that one to Sam. So it's an even fight at the moment in my.
And I agree with you.
In my book, mate. If you gave the second to the other fella, Sam landed some telling punches that round, Brad.
Absolutely. And you know, well, there wasn't a lot of power on him, but there's never a lot of power on the punches of Sam Soliman. But he certainly caught the attention of Giovanni Lorenzo.
That round, that right hand from the ground, Sam, get bent right down, come up, with a leaping right hand, I'd say you'd call it from his legs. It really stiffened up Giovanni. It was the best punch of the fight so far, Brad.
Absolutely, a great punch. And the hand speed really came to the fore there of Sam Soliman. Also, he was able to mix it up with the angles. The angles really came into play there, Angelo.
The demonstration by the cornerman there, Brad, as he's instructing Giovanni to go to the body, both left and the right side.
Absolutely, and it's a good ploy too, because as the head can move but the body can't.
Yes, smart tactics.
Absolutely. Notice they're using the raised gloves. Oops, there's a right hand, but it was a slip. No, it was a slip. He had his Giovanni's right foot was on Sam's left leg,
good call,
and so
referee.
it was off. Yep. Good call by Tony Moretta, one of the local referees here in Victoria. His first big fight tonight, and doing a very, very good job at call. As Sam Soliman ties up his opponent, Giovanni Lorenzo. Angelo, tell me, look, Lorenzo's been here for 10 days already. Yep. He would have started to acclimatise a little bit to the time zones, the different water, the different food, but the weather. You know, he's come out of an American summer, and now here
right
in Geelong...
hand's getting landed here, Brad, in between that, mate. Some big shots getting thrown here.
Some dangerous punches there. I don't
think it's long enough, mate. We'll see in the later part of the fight. Championship rounds, mate. We'll see the last four how he goes.
Mark Ferre in the blue corner, getting frustrated at his young charge. Giovanni Lorenzo banging on the canvas because Sam Soliman with a two-fisted attack made Lorenzo miss and paid him pay the price. As referee, the referee warns him for hitting on the back of the head, which wasn't unintentional. But Sam again, I think, just sneaking this round so far, but there's not a lot in it.
He's just creeping around. Glove there, nice defence. Brought his right hand up at the last second. Caught that left hook on the glove. Nice little couple-eyed semi there,
absolutely.
Brad.
Two nice little left leads under the right hand, and then again with another left lead. So the work ethic of the King, Sam Soliman, is really coming to fore. Plus the
right hand of the body, caught him with a left hook.
Good one, yeah. Work fighting off the back move, counter punching, and another good straight left, right. And now I see in the eyes of Giovanni Lorenzo frustration.
Yes,
Angelo.
and he seemed to just slow up a little bit, Brad. He's looked to have slowed up.
He does. He has slowed up. He's not as purposeful in what he does, as he tags Sam with a little short right hand that just missed the mark again. And it must be frustrating for him. Here we are in the fourth round. He's hit him with some of his good shots, but he can't land the blow that he's looking to land.
Looking good on the feet here, Sam. Using the feet to perfection and the angles here. Just stealing those combinations. There goes, beautiful lead left hook.
Absolutely.
He's starting to steal this, just starting to put a bit of authority on here, Sam, at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and a double little short right hand, and the second one missed. Missed with a right hand, made him miss again, little short left hook across again, didn't hit flush. Let me tell you that Lorenzo looks a neater, tidier boxer than Sam, but really he's not landing, and Sam, while he's spraying a lot of his punches, they're actually connecting. A lot of those punches are connecting. Good club to the back of the head there.
Definitely a Soliman round, mate.
Absolutely, another very close round, but in my view, Sam Soliman's round. There's no panic in the corner, just taking their time. How will our judges look at it tonight? John Gillespie from New Zealand, Somsak Sirianat from Thailand, and Robert Hoyle from Las Vegas, Nevada. And how will they see this fight? I'm sure that they're going to look at the punching power of El Chico Malo, Giovanni Lorenzo, but they've also got to look at the work ethic and the number of blows that have struck cleanly of the King, Sam Soliman. As we're into round 5. Again, Lorenzo misses over the top. Soliman comes up with a nice little short uppercut right in front of our commentary position. The referee warns both guys to watch their head. They're really close. It's the first warning. He says, come on, guys, let's keep it clean, keep it tidy. We don't want to see an accidental head cut where this fight's going to be stopped prematurely. Nice left hand by Soliman, musing all of the round. Great footwork, great initiative. He's looking at the punches coming cleanly. Sam Soliman, the pride of Melbourne town, here in Geelong on the beautiful Bellarine Peninsula, in front of an adoring home crowd. We're about 1 hour west of Melbourne, I should say. one of the greatest sporting cities of the state of Victoria. Soliman going and he's being held. He looks at frustration at the referees. This is, hey, look, he's holding me. He's locked my left hand up. Again, he tags Giovanni as he comes in, not giving Giovanni Lorenzo anything to work with. It's always hard to hit a moving target, Angelo Hyder.
Looks like he's got his distance now, Sam. He's just creeping those feet, Brad, which a good mover does. They creep and creep. Wait till you to get a bit lazy and then time you on.
Absolutely. And referee Tony Moretta warning Giovanni for an illegal use of the elbow there. And, you know, I would like to think there was nothing, no malice in it. I think he's just thrown the elbow and it's happened to follow his fist. But he looks like he's becoming a little bit frustrated. This Soliman goes with a left and right again, over the top, again using all of this 22-foot ring. This has got to be a 22-foot square ring, Angelo, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. Minimum 21.
And of course, that's the ring that the King would want to use, so he's got plenty of room to move. We saw in a couple of the earlier fights, the Peter Brennan and a couple of the earlier fights, they could have fought in the phone box.
Yeah, they were good fights, weren't they?
Absolutely, very well-matched fights.
Mate, Giovanni looks like he's struggling with that distance, the movement of Sam. Sam's just got his distance worked out and he's coming in. And at the moment, Sam's fighting when he wants to fight.
Absolutely, yeah, he is.
And Giovanni's not forcing Sam to fight. So this really suits Sam here. He'll just cruise through these rounds.
Sam is actually making him fight his fight. And let me tell you this, we're in round 5 now. Almost, it's, you know, to the end of the round, the 5th round now. He hasn't been able to tag Sam. That's not to say that he's going to, but if he's frustrated now, Sam's going to fight at this pace and at this level for the 12 rounds. That was another good round by Sam Soliman.
Giovanni's, what's his name? Lorenzo. His legs look like they just started to stop moving there, Brady. He looked like he got a bit flat, and Sam looked like he was actually the one going in and out rather than being chased. Getting a little bit animated. I saw they ran out and complained to the referee about Sam's holding.
Yes. And well, Sam's not actually holding. What actually Sam's doing is making Giovanni miss and then coming over the top of him and bamboozling him. He's twisting and turning. He's not actually holding. He's continuing to move as he's doing.
He's actually punching at all occasions. So you're right. He's not holding and tying him up. He's got an arm free just like there, Brad.
Absolutely.
He's letting him go.
And if anyone was holding in that last round, it was actually Giovanni, sadly, you know, because he locked Sam's left hand up. There's a nice clubbing left hook off the cuff. Left and right by Sam, misses, and Giovanni misses with the left hook. Giovanni a little bit more purposeful in this round, going straight at Sam.
Slowed up a little, Brad, Giovanni.
He has, absolutely. That's what I was saying, Angela. Do you think that the cold weather here would start, you know, even though he's warmed up, we're in the 6th round now, you know, is he just starting to sort of come a little bit flat with this cold weather?
Yes, it looks like he's just starting to slow up.
You know, Sam just hit him flush with the left hook there, a little double right hand to the kidney, another one to the head, and then just pushes him away. He's an impressive looking fighter though, Giovanni Lorenzo, isn't he? He's got a great body, a very, very good big body for a middleweight, for 72.5 kilos.
He has, mate, but as you start, look at the back of Sam Soliman from them clubs we spoke about.
All red.
His back is physically bruised.
It is, absolutely.
He's back with his lats.
Yeah, absolutely, you can see it now. The marks are coming out on Sam Soliman. He'll be a...
this wrestling here, this awkwardness, this wrestling and fighting, unlike other blokes that wrestle, Sam gets an arm out like here, look.
He does,
and
yeah.
He lets him
and
go.
He gets a hand free.
It's so people don't train for it, Brad, and they don't know how to handle it, and that will take more energy away from you than anything.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what's causing Giovanni to get flat a little bit, because he's busy wrestling, using all that strength, and where he can't deliver the punches. But Sam, there it is there, made him miss easily. Nice. Right hand, but he gets clubbed with a right hand on the ear there. A good punch by Giovanni, but the right hand by Sam was equally as good. And that must be a little deflating, you know, because he hit him with a very, very good punch. Had no visible effect on Sam Soliman.
Yeah, his mouth started to come open, Brad, and he's starting to puff a bit.
Starting to breathe a little bit, you can see that.
Slowing up a bit, still got plenty of power there.
And Angelo, you'd have to say that that's a little bit of a
nice right hand.
Short right hand.
Best punch of the fight so far,
Absolutely.
Brad.
And Sam Soliman, as he gets warning for an illegal use of the head, And Sam Soliman is actually making Chico follow him around using all of the ring. We know that Sam Soliman's work ethic and his fitness will take him into the 12 rounds with this, but can Chico match him for 12 rounds?
No, Chico there had Sam's hands wrapped up, and he was quite happy to keep them wrapped up.
Stay there, yes.
Did you see that, Brad?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think the referee had a word to Sam, but it was in fact Chico that held Sam's
Oh,
hands.
and Mark Ferre in the corner standing up, screaming at his young charge, come on, what are you doing? Let's see something, let's do something.
Controlling the fight here, Sam Soliman.
Absolutely.
Controlling that fight, mate. He's fighting on his terms at the moment, Brad.
Absolutely.
Very clever. You don't want that to happen when you're fighting Sam Soliman.
Not at all, because I'll tell you why. You give Sam Soliman an inch and he will take the proverbial mile. It's all business. Lovely guy, but you know what? At the end of the day, he's Sam's mate. He's his trainer, he's his best mate. He's been with him all along. They have an understanding of each other. He doesn't have to say some of the things he does, and he doesn't need to talk to him, you know, like there's Giovanni collects him with a big right hand, and Sam comes back with his own.
Both throwing leading right hands here now.
Nice
Uppercuts.
little uppercut off the cuff. How he's got his confidence up, Sam Soliman. Anything you can do, I can do just as better, says Sam Soliman, as Giovanni ties Sam up again.
Now here's a change of tactics, Brad. Giovanni's put his hands up, the old peekaboo style.
Yeah.
He's been fighting with the left hand down. He's changed his style.
He has.
Oh,
Sammy's just pushed him. There was a little bit because
he
what's
looks
happened.
very
Giovanni,
weary here,
he
Brad.
does. Well, what's happened? Giovanni tried to lock Sam up, and Sam said, "Get away from me! Get his hands free." Put his hand on his chest and
blood
pushed him
coming
over.
out of the mouth of Giovanni, Brad.
Absolutely. That was as a result of that. Oh, and that
There's
other
a beautiful uppercut.
Soliman really
Now the
starting
change
to
of style.
Yes, and Giovanni's hands are high, which tells me he's concerned. He's changing his tactics. He gets another warning for an elbow.
Soliman equal to it though. No, we're back to the peekaboo. As soon as he put his hands up, Soliman started raining right hooks and right uppercuts. What a great way to change
another
styles
right hand
here.
over the top. And you picked it. You picked it the minute he does. Got hit on the back of the head, but he turned. Giovanni actually turned away. That's why he got hit in the back of the head. So it's still a foul. A foul is a foul, whether it's on accident or it's a purpose. But Soliman using all of the ring as they go into the blue corner of Giovanni Lorenzo. Again, now Soliman controlling centre ring. Has the petrol tank begun to run dry of Giovanni Lorenzo. Soliman, double left hands, left hook off the cup. 3 good scoring blows.
I'd like to see Soliman start throwing a few lefts to the body, mate. Test out his tank.
Absolutely.
Brad.
Oh, he hit Sam with an overhead right, a bruising overhead right.
Straight back with his own.
Straight, wasn't it? Referee screams out break to both fighters. Keep your heads up, don't hold, as they're both in centre ring. This is a real arm wrestle this round, both wanting to control the centre ring. Lorenzo now with that lazy little right hand that went nowhere, throwing it from no man's land. Sam hits him with a rugged straight left and a left hook on the out.
Uppercuts inside.
As he was going backwards. You know, Giovanni hasn't thrown the towel in. Look, he's an impressive young fighter. He's been in with some of the best. And, you know, he's going to fight this all out. You can see it in him. He's got plenty of fight in him.
Sammy's starting to put the punches together, though, mate.
Yes.
2s, 3s and 4s. Really up, double, tripled his workload this round, Brad, Sam.
Absolutely, he has. And what he's doing here is playing the counterpuncher role. He's making him miss and making him mispay. And that God-given talent of with that upper body movement.
1-2.
Oh, there it is again.
Beautiful.
And for those of you at home watching this telecast, you'll see as at the end of round number 7,
spitting blood out over there, mate.
Absolutely.
Fair bit of blood coming out there, Brad. Went
Absolutely.
Sat straight in the corner and spat a heap of blood in the spit bucket, mate.
And Angelo, I've given Sam Soliman, without any bias or without any favour, but by sheer work ethic and work rate, I've given him the last 5 rounds. And I think that's justified because Soliman has made his opponent miss, he's made him pay. And you know what he has done? He's actually taken him into some deep water at the moment. He started to test him. He sort of said, let's come out into the deeper water and let's see whether you can actually really swim, young fella.
That was his best round by far, Brad. That was his most convincing round that he won. that he'd won
Angelo,
so
if
far.
you're in the corner of Giovanni Lorenzo now, what would you be saying to him? How would you counteract the efforts of Sam Soliman now?
Mate, he's got to start doing what he's been told. Get to the body and start trying to slow Sam up. The only hope he's got his head punches start at the body and try and work up.
Yes.
He hasn't landed anything to the head. And he's got to be prepared to work more, mate. You can't, not many fighters win fights that get outworked. It's real simple.
No, exactly. And you can't win a fight just with one punch.
Nah.
He needs to throw punches in bunches, as what Sam Soliman's doing, and he's got to stop loading up. He's just got to let them flow, let them come.
Start working, take a risk.
Absolutely.
You know, why didn't he come again? You want the fight, get out and take it away from the opponent.
And I guess his corner are asking him now, hey, how badly do you want this? How hard have we worked in the gym? How much effort have we got? We've come, 10,000 miles down here to take this title home. This is your chance. It's there if you want it. At the moment, I have the score 69 to 64 in favour of the King, Sam Soliman.
Every round he's been told to throw to the body, Lorenzo, and come up.
Yep.
He hasn't gone to the body.
Not once.
Once.
Yes, absolutely.
When does a corner turn around and go, well, hang on, I told you for 7 rounds or 6 rounds go to the body, they're not going to do it.
And
maybe they should think, hang on, we better change
tack.
what we're telling you.
Absolutely. And when you look at the corner, they're a great corner, the Parfait brothers, and they're over there just doing their absolute best, and you can just see they can see this fight slipping away. They're disappointed in the effort that their fighter's putting in, and they're really nice guys, great sportsmen, but they can just see that this fight's slipping away. Oh, what a magnificent right hand by Soliman, but let me tell you,
left hook
left by Giovanni as well. Want to give a big thanks to my co-hand here, Michelle Lansdowne, who's been helping me with the paperwork here all night. Done a wonderful job. Thanks, Michelle. It's great to have you on board down here at the arena in Geelong. And she's watching just like we are. The crowd here are all over watching Sam Soliman as he says, Swift, where are you? I need you to get me out of this. Straight left hand again. Sam Soliman collecting Giovanni on the way in.
You think Sam's having a round off?
He is, but he's just doing what... Yeah, he's taking a breather and doing what he has to do.
The last round was his best round. Quite smart. He's winning this round. He's just staying in front, just doing that little bit more. Very clever, mate.
And listen, Ange, as you know, the head wins fights, not the fist. You got to work smarter, not harder in these fights when there's not that much the physical attributes. There's not a lot between these guys. When you look at the impressive body and the style of Lorenzo, look at the shoulders on him, look at the arms. You can see he's all power. And Sam Soliman is a Ferrari, isn't he?
Mate, he's doing it pretty easy at the moment. He's starting out, jab the big fella.
Yeah. And the fight has now deteriorated to the point where Sam Soliman is dictating. He's counter-punching, he's taking the initiative, he's using the punching, moving backwards, sideways, doesn't matter. He's still winning the war.
Walking him back.
There he goes with a 3-punch combo.
Oh. I thought he was going to get one after the bell there, Brett.
So did I. And look, that was a closer round. Again, by the volume of punches, without so much the power, you can't go past the King, Sam Soliman. But it was a better round for Lorenzo too. He did have a little bit of success with that right hand and that terrific left hook that clubbed Sam right on the side of the cheekbone. He's taking it to this very youthful, very fit, very strong young challenger in Giovanni Lorenzo. And the crowd here at the arena here in Geelong can sense that Sam Soliman is going to put himself in position for a championship fight for the middleweight championship of the International Boxing Federation. If he can just keep maintaining the rage as he has.
Dave Hedgecock, mate, yelling out to Sam to jab. I think that's great instructions, mate. He's winning every part of the fight, mate. Great relationship, great instructions. I couldn't back him up anymore, mate.
And Angelo, really, Dave knows what Sam's like. He knows every little bit about him. He knows what he's capable of. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. And Sam, and he's going to say to him, play to your strengths, not to your weaknesses. Fight to your own strengths. Don't fight to his strengths.
Beautiful jab there,
What about
Brad?
that? That was magnificent.
Nice stiff left hand.
There's a little short right hand, just missed. Let me tell you, that right hand to Sam Soliman, that little short inside right, that's dangerous. And that's looking very, very... Oh, there was a nice big left hook from Lorenzo. He hasn't thrown in the towel yet, Giovanni. Hands are held up high. let me tell you, if you look at Giovanni in different little lights, I can see some looks of Joe Louis in him. Can you see that? Looks a little bit like Joe Louis.
Yeah, at the moment.
The brown bomber.
Flat-footed.
Absolutely.
Big and strong and flat-footed at the moment.
Absolutely. And as I look at Ray Parfait in the corner, just standing up, trying to urge his fighter on. Sam looks like he's just taking a rest in this round, using all of the round.
Well, he's been landing that left hand quite nicely, just picking up the score and clean left hand.
Yep.
And it's opened up that short right.
And you know, I mean, Giovanni at this stage really must be.
There's that beautiful jab, Brad.
Wasn't it magnificent? And it's short, and you know what? It's a real rangefinder.
There's that right hand, mate.
And that all comes from the left hand. That's the rangefinder. And if you hit that left hand flush, you know the right hand's got hit, followed by the uppercut.
Keep jabbing, Sam. Keep turning him and jabbing. That's the instructions, mate. And it's working a treat by Dave Hedgecock.
Oh, and he's actually what's happened, the bootlace of Sam Soliman has come undone. As Giovanni goes back to the neutral corner, right in front of our commentary position here. And the corner have got their arms up saying, hey, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Start to jab with the left hand as Ray Parfait says to him, what about the left hook to the body? What about the straight left hand? Come on, brother, we've come down here to do the job and you're not doing the job.
Mate, that jab that Dave Hedgecock instructed Sam to throw has been working a treat this round.
Absolutely, and it has had some real power behind it as well.
Mate, set him up for the right hand. Probably the cleanest punches landed for the fight, and done it the easiest, Brad.
Absolutely. And when you look at the career of Sam Soliman, you know, that vast career where he's fought in a number of countries all around the world, you know, like he hasn't barred any countries when it comes to where he's fought. You know, he's fought in the UK at Burton-on-Trent, in Glasgow, Bethnal Green, Tottenham. He's gone to Penrith in Sydney, and he's gone to Flemington and Albert Park and Moonee Valley Racetrack, the Docklands, and down to Dandenong. Then he decided to take a quick trip over to Japan and unseat a couple of the tough Japanese in Toyozuki and Suzuki and Toyozama, and won the OPBF title before he headed over to LA. And that was a very close round, another round for the Sam, for the King Sam Soliman.
Great instructions from Dave Hedgecock to throw the jab, and great buddy listening to his corner, mate, and doing it. Great round. Won it easy. Had a break.
You know, what else can he do? He can only do what he's doing. He's playing to his strengths. He's working to the strengths now. He's found a home for the straight left.
That ferociousness that you need to be a world champion.
It's amazing to be a world champion.
He needs to find that, because here, so far, Brady hasn't shown
not at all
that he's prepared to put everything on the line to take this fight.
And hurt the body. Exactly. You know, the body has to earn as a right hand.
He landed a nice right hand there, Brett, on Sam. He's come out with his hands up, changed his style.
And notice he's now pouring out and jabbing out with that hard, strong left hand. It's amazing. This is what champions do. In September 2001, Sam Soliman came out here and lost a hotly disputed decision to Anthony Mundine down in Wollongong, right?
Yep.
After that, he went back to England, and in 4 years and 3 months, he strung together 19 wins on the trot.
Nice right hand on the temple there by Sam, Brad.
Absolutely. So that's what champions do. They pick themselves up off the canvas and go back and get back on the bike and start riding again. And it wasn't as if Soliman fought some of the average fighters. He fought right throughout Europe and Asia, and fought some of the best guys in Australia, and had 19 wins on the trot against quality opponents.
Fought anyone, anywhere, mate, at any time.
Oh, a magnificent right hand by Soliman as Lorenzo was caught in Lorenzo's hold. He doesn't want to let him go as Tony Moretta has warned them both for holding, and Dave Hedgecock's gone ballistic in the corner saying, hey, listen, he's holding him. What are you doing?
Was too. That wasn't Sam holding there, mate,
Not
by
at
any
all.
means. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's giving one on the ground.
And Sam just laughs it off. And that, you know, that's the personality of Sam Soliman. And Tony Moretta's all serious, and Sam's just laughed it off. And let's get on with it, he says. Moves around to his left.
Lovely angles.
You move to the right.
Counter right
he's
hand.
Twisted and turned, made him miss, made him pay with the right hand. And you know, Giovanni now is not missing with one, but he's missing with 1 and 2 punches, and that must be very frustrating for this young kid.
Sam just controlling the fight, mate, however he wants inside. Look at these right hands inside coming here.
Sam really attacking Lorenzo on the ropes there. And when you consider Giovanni Lorenzo from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, Jaringa is his hometown over there, now fights out of the Bronx in New York.
Nice rip by Soliman, got a hit on top of the left hook on the top of the head back. So
missed with the short right hand there. And you know, when you look at the height and reach advantage, a 13 centimetre reach advantage and a 9 centimetre height advantage, you know, Giovanni hasn't made that to any advantage for him tonight at all, has he?
Took Sam a couple of rounds to work it out, mate, and he has not looked back since.
Sam Soliman, 38 years of age, born on the 13th of October that's Chico Lorenzo, 13th of October 1980, and 31 years of age, Lorenzo, compared to Sam Soliman at 38 years of age, who was born on the 13th of November. We're in round number 10 of a 12-round championship fight. And it's strange, Tuesday the 13th of November, it was 3 days after I got married to my first wife. So it was a good day and another as Sam Soliman clenches the fist to the capacity crowd here at the arena in Geelong and says, that's another one in the bag. Round number 10.
Let's see if he can put it out into the ring.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where he needs to.
And look, you know, when we look at the corners, there's two vastly different corners. It's a happy corner in the red corner of Team Soliman with Dave Hedgecock and the guys. And Lorenzo was just listening very, very carefully and intently there, saying, look, guys, tell me, what have I got to do to get back in this fight? And at the moment, he's got to win by knockout. He can't win this fight on points now.
He might try and outwork Sam for at least one round, because he hasn't done that yet.
He hasn't. I gave him the second round only, and am I being a little bit hard? I don't think so. I think that Sam's work ethic is effective aggression, and as we score a fight as a championship judge, we're taught we've got 100% of the pie. 70% is effective aggression, and that's punches landed, whether you're going backwards, sideways or forward. Effective aggression, just like that right hand there, and a right hand to the rib cage. And they don't have to have immaculate power. They've just got to land with the knuckle part of the glove to the scoring part of the body, and Sam Soliman has done that immaculately tonight. Impeccable work ethic by Sam Soliman. The speed, the agility, the ring wise, the ring generalship, the workmanship of using all of the ring. Nothing has changed from here we are in round 11, and nothing has changed from round 1. So he's finishing off just as quickly as he started.
Mark Pajero still says Sam Soliman was the hardest he'd ever been hit.
Is that right? And not a known puncher, Sam Soliman. Amazing, out of an amazing 449 rounds of boxing, 272 championship rounds in 27 title fights. It's his 28th title fight tonight, and his 53rd fight in all, compared to Giovanni Lorenzo. In title fights, he's had 4, where he's had 1 win and 3 losses, compared to Sam's 27 championship fights. So Giovanni Lorenzo has fought just 38 rounds compared to 272 rounds in title fights. So there's a lot of difference there, Angelo.
Again, here, like, he's backing up. You know, Lorenzo, he has. He's backing up now. He's on the back leg. Yep. You know, Sam's just completely dictating. He's won 1 round of an elimination fight.
Yeah, and it must be disappointing after all the effort that they put on, and a long way to come with a whole team like this.
Mate, he needs to put more effort in him, take more chances if he wants. Like, he catches Sam with a right hand.
Yep, and didn't follow up.
Doesn't follow up.
And then got hit. And then got hit with another good right hand as he stood there watching.
Outworking him, Sam. Short right hand. Right hands to the body. Short uppercuts.
He just wants to fight now. He wants to open up, Sam Soliman. He doesn't need to get too cute here in the end of the 11th round. Just be careful. Just do what you've been doing. No need to get too cute. Just do what you're doing. You're winning the fight and winning it comfortably.
Loves it. Sammy Soliman loves it.
10-second round. He's in his element here, isn't he?
Oh, nice little left hand uppercut, Razor. 1-2.
He's just
with a hook behind it.
As he goes with a left right,
a little bit wobbly back to the corner, Brad.
He signals to the crowd, look at me. My score at the end of round number 11 is 109 to 100. I've given Giovanni Lorenzo just 1 round. Now, am I being a little bit hard on our visitor? But look, you know, Ray and Mark Parfait in the corner there must be very, very disappointed. but there's nothing they can do. They're going to ask him to come out with a big effort in round number 12, and let's hope that he can make a fight of it. But look, if there's anything, the past 11 rounds have gone to go by. Sam Soliman has got his tail up. He knows he's going to be in one corner to fight either as we hear the result for the 12th and final round. He's going to be in one corner to fight Daniel Beale or Felix Sturm, Angelo Hyder. And what a fight that's going to be, an All-Australian World Championship IBF fight.
Surely he's going to come out blazing.
He will. He's got to come out because he's got to show his corner that he has got something in between that chest barrier of his. Sam just not frightened to let the punches flow too.
A lovely left hook knocked Sammy off balance there, Brad. But
Sam went to go with a left hook but got hit. Lorenzo going to come all at Sam now, going to go at him. It must be frustrating. He's not leaving it all there. He's he hasn't asked any questions of Sam Soliman, really, has he?
No, he hasn't taken a risk yet, Brad.
And the corner, it's amazing. Rich Ryan, Mark and Ray Parfait, or Ferret I should say, not Parfait, Ferret. Just, Sam goes with right, left hook, just basically hitting Giovanni at will. Frustration, I think, is probably a better word for Giovanni. He just doesn't know what to do. He's never fought somebody like Sam Soliman. He doesn't know how to handle his hand speed, his foot speed,
Not
his
many
agility.
Sam Solomons around.
Thank God, because I'll tell you why, we'd have multiple world champions here in Australia if we did.
Darchinian's a bit similar with his awkwardness.
Oh, incredible. And you've been in the corner with Vic many times, Ange, so we know how awkward Vic Darchinian can be. Oh, left and right, a double-fisted attack to the body. He goes up to the head. Sam Soliman says, hey, cop that, because we're only in the 12th round. The fat lady hasn't sung yet. We've got a little bit of a time to go. Left and right to the body. Giovanni tries to tie him up. Oh, he's hurt Giovanni. He's down. The ropes are stopped. And Giovanni's down. Soliman, has he done the kick? The count's at 4, 5. He's up. He's stunned. He doesn't know what to do as Sam Soliman celebrates.
He's out of gas too, mate.
He's out of gas.
Couple of body shots
Amazing
just before the
effort.
knockdown.
Unbelievable atmosphere here at the arena here in Geelong as Sam Soliman has knocked Giovanni Lorenzo down.
He's wobbly, Brad.
He hasn't.
Sam doesn't need to, but if he wants it, he can go here.
Oh, look, there's a right hand. I told you that short right hand was always dangerous.
Oh, there's another one.
Put the finishing touches, Angelo. Could you see this? This is absolutely amazing.
A couple of big body shots started this there, Brad, underneath.
Absolutely. He's worked the body. He's got the hands to drop. The right hand, the rope stopped Lorenzo from going down. The corner of Lorenzo is stunned. He's never been knocked down before. It's the first time Lorenzo's been off his feet. And a left and a right hand, and Soliman is finishing in style here in the arena.
10 seconds.
A right hand, we're inside 10 seconds now. And Sam Soliman is finishing off Giovanni Lorenzo as he slips. It's a knockdown. And that's about the end of the fight. We're not going to see any action there. And there it is. And Soliman goes over and puts a consoling hand on Lorenzo and says, hey, well done. But Lorenzo doesn't want to know him. He's so bad sportsmanship by Giovanni. I know he's disappointed.
I don't think he knows where he is.
Actually, you might be right. But look, Ray and Mark.
He's all over the place here.
Yep, have come over. Look, the genuine, their arms in arms. They're congratulating. And Sam Soliman has pulled it out of nowhere. A barrage of punches in his own corner has stunned Giovanni Lorenzo. And Sam Soliman acknowledges the crowd as Team Lorenzo comes over and shakes hands and says, hey guys, we were beaten by a better fighter tonight. And that was clearly a 10-8 round.
Good fight. He worked hard, mate. He went out and he took that fight. He owned the ring, mate. He did what he had to do, Brad. And he took that fight. He made that fight his tonight, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. Angelo, what a terrific effort by the King, Sam Soliman. I've said it. He's the pride of Australia, the pride of Melbourne, and he's now booked his seat to one corner for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World. We only now need the official scorecards as our promoter, David Stanley and Michael Bass, the centre ring. They just can't believe it. Sam Soliman not only made a statement here tonight, Angelo, he made it an emphatic statement. And you know, look, I said to everybody, they said, how do you see this fight going? I said, this is a hard fight. It's a 50-50 fight on my books. But Sam Soliman has just shown that I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes. Trust me. Going to be interesting, the scores. My unofficial score here, it's helped me with the beautiful Michelle Lansdowne's been here and scoring for me 119 to 180 in favour of the King, Sam Soliman. Ange, how do you see it?
I think you'd be on the money there, Brett.
I hope so. But what a remarkable performance, not only for Sam Soliman, but for boxing in Victoria, boxing in Australia, and for Geelong.
What a turnout.
Let's go up to our ring announcer, Mr. Howard Lee, for the official announcement of the winner.
Good for the sport of boxing
absolutely,
here, mate.
For the final elimination of the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Robert Hoyle from Las Vegas has it 117-110. Somsak Sirianan from Thailand has it 118-108. 118-108. Final card, John Gillespie, Auckland, New Zealand, 118-109. Unanimous points winner, red corner, Sam.
There we have it. It's now official. The King, Sam Soliman, has booked a place for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World on December 7 with official scores. Somsak Sirianan from Thailand, 118 to 108. Robert Hoyle from Las Vegas, 117-110. And John Gillespie from New Zealand, 118-109. And my unofficial score was a little bit more generous of 119-108. But what a tremendous performance by Sam Soliman.
Wasn't it great to see him and Dave hug after all that work? Big pressure valve release, mate.
Incredible.
All worthwhile.
Angelo, you've been there before. You've been on the wrong side of some of these decisions. You've been on the right side of some of these decisions. You know what this team's going through now. Must be an amazing relief.
Well, the dream's in sight now, mate. Daniel Gill getting a crack with him. The hard work's done for another fight.
Absolutely.
And all working out, mate. And
okay, you enjoyed your time in this city of Geelong, Australia.
Geelong, Melbourne, Australia's been great to us. The fans here are awesome. And Sam Soliman has a good fan base, so back him up. He's a great fighter.
Mark Farad.
I can't quite hear what Team Lorenzo are saying to our ring announcer, Howard Lee. But
how about 3 cheers for the King, the Superman?
Let's hear what Howard Lee's got to say to Sam Soliman and see if we can get it in.
Don't go away because lots of people to talk to. Michael, you haven't slept for 6 weeks. Congratulations, and Sam, he's a big winner.
He's an absolute champion, guys. Thanks everyone for coming out here. Look, the people of Geelong, you've just been fantastic, and we want to bring back a world title here. Look, I said I'd never do this again, but if we can bring a world title to Geelong, we will. But Sam's the real champion. He's the person
famous
who
last words of promoters. Absolutely. We all say that, I reckon.
Absolutely.
He's left center ring, has he? David Stanley, please return. David, come back. Don't run away. You haven't slept for 5 weeks. David, how's it feel with the rubber man? As Robert Hoyle said to me, he's got all the angles, Sam Soliman.
He has. He's a great sportsman, great role model, and big thank you to Geelong. Got right behind Sam and made us feel so welcome here over the last 5 weeks, and a great night.
Okay, Sugar Ray Wheatley, the human rubber man does it again.
Does Sam Soliman prove that he certainly deserves a shot at the world title? He's beat everyone that they put in front of him, and now he'll definitely get a shot at the world title. Great effort tonight. He beat a guy in Giovanni, Lorenzo, was extremely powerful fighter, dangerous fighter. But Sam Soliman, with all his experience and his typical style of boxing, certainly won very clearly tonight.
Dave the Rock, come across. Dave, take his glove off. One glove. David, we'll talk to you first. Dave, you've been through hell and high water, but you must be on top of the world tonight.
Oh, absolutely, mate. As I've said, Sam Soliman's a true genius. He's been a ring master for a long time. People avoid him. No one wants to fight him. And at 38 years of age, he's fighting like a 30-year-old and still doing it. He should be and well deserves to be a world champion, and needs the opportunity to fight anybody and everybody. We've never missed anybody, fought in everyone else's backyard. And Sam's an absolute champion, mate, absolute champion.
Good stuff, Dave the Rock. Here's the man, Sam Soliman. Congratulations, Sam. Sam, you've got a cast of thousands here, including George Saxon and all the guns. What a great crowd, Sam, and you're part of the promotional team. You've done a magnificent job.
George Saxon, we've got a lot in common with George Saxon and I. Like Dave Hitchcock, we never ducked nobody, and we proved it again tonight. It was a good win. I'd like to thank Giovanni, Lorenzo, coming down from New York, the Bronx. It's not easy to go into someone's hometown and go 12 rounds. Tough as nails. Thanks very much for the fight. Thank my family, Maria, my wife, Samir, my newborn son. Newborn son is 3 years old already. All the fans have supported me. You guys have been great. All the footy boys, the boys at the club that we've been talking to, yeah. Woo! No clouds, no clouds.
Sam, would you believe that 15 years ago, I compared you fighting Adrian Bellin in this city, 15 years ago.
And 18 years ago, this man announced me into the ring when I fought Fell Health for my first pro fight just a couple of footy seasons ago. I'd like to thank the football champions who brought me into the ring tonight, Peter Mr. Magic, Dave Hitchcock for training me, Christian Eno, Nigel McCarthy and the boys, Boxer John. You guys have all been sensational. I couldn't thank you enough. Major sponsors, No Fear, U-Build, Roadworks, Hungry Jacks, TLS, George, the whole team, thank you very much for your support. Black and blue.
World title, Sam. That's what Ray Wheatley is trying to negotiate for you. How's that sound? A real world title, a unification title.
It's about time we got our shot. They've been ducking us forever. It's time we brought it home to Australia for once. We're bringing it home to Australia. No more.
Sam Soliman.
I'd like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ. He gave me the strength to be able to get through this and give my son the education, go to Halbury. That's my dream, to have my son go through what I didn't go through and get a good schooling. You guys made it happen. Love you guys. Go the Tigers. They beat Essendon today. Go the Pies. They're red hot. We're in the finals. And go the Cats for supporting me tonight.
Okay, what a night of action at the Geelong Arena. Sam King Soliman became the King of Geelong. He was here 15 years ago, but tonight he returned under SBS Promotions. David Stanley, Michael and Sam, they put the show together. The first ever boxing sellout at the arena. And in the main event, 12 rounds of boxing, the IBF Middleweight Eliminator, Sam King Superman Soliman left no stone unturned as he outclassed New York-based Dominican Republic, number 5 ranked middleweight in the world, on points, unanimous points, over 12 rounds. Good night, Howard Lee signing off from the arena in Geelong, the second largest city in Victoria, on the way to Port Melbourne via Paris Productions. Keep punching. Good night, night from the arena.
Well, folks, there you have it. Tonight we've had a magnificent performance here at the Geelong Arena on a tremendous promotion put together by SPS Promotions, David Stanley, Michael Bates, Sam Soliman. They've really excelled here in the beautiful city of Geelong for what was a tremendous promotion, and Sam Soliman didn't let the fans down. He won in an emphatic position tonight as he booked a spot for the World Middleweight Championship, for the IBF World Middleweight Championship. With me is championship judge, world-recognised world judge, Mr. Robert Hoyle, all the way from Nevada, not Las Vegas, Nevada, I should say, Rob.
Nevada.
I'm still stunned by the performance of Sam Soliman. Tell me, that's the first time you've seen Sam Soliman. What did you think?
That was the first time I worked this fight, and again, like I said, Sam gave tons of angles. He made it tough for Giovanni, and he gave him a very tough fight, and at the end, he pulled it out.
He really did. He really made a statement, didn't he?
Yes,
at
he
the
did.
end, when we start talking, a knockdown. The kid's never been off his feet before.
Never, and he came to finish it. He saw the blood, and he went for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an emphatic performance now. Do you think he's world standard now?
He's world standard because I tell you, I got to give Giovanni credit. He came in, tried to fight a very tough guy, and unfortunately, somebody had to win.
Sam Soliman won from the outside. He won from the inside. He won going backwards. He won going sideways. He bamboozled his younger, stronger, fitter opponent, and he ticked all the boxes. Do we have a world middleweight championship possibly here at the arena in Geelong? I'd love to put $1 on it and say yes. A big thanks to you tonight for watching. A big thanks to Paris from Paris Productions, all the crew down here at Geelong. It's an amazing experience. The overall night, the pre-fight entertainment, the crowd that got behind it was amazing. My name's Brad Vicali. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again right here in Geelong.